evening, race fans, and welcome along to the round number 2 of the FRL Super Sprint to the Grand Finals. My name's John Wright, aka Double O Raven. It is my pleasure to be presiding over this evening's proceedings. Once again, joining me, it will be the wonder from down under, Mr. Kane Denham.
Good evening, everybody.
As we take you through all of the action from both of tonight's races. That's right, 7 rounds, 14 races, 5 guaranteed places in the VCO SimGrid Grand Final. 3 of them, 3 places in a playoff spot as well. We had Spa last week, 4 cars sharing the 6 available podium spots. There is reverse grids, there mandatory pit stops, there's driver swaps, there's 2 excited commentators, one of them much earlier in the morning than the other. It's Mr. Kane Denham. How are we doing this morning, Kane?
Thank you, John. I'm very well, thank you very much. Very excited to be here for the FRL Super Sprint to the Grand Final Series. It is round 2, of course, of the series here at Imola, where we will have 15 minutes of qualifying, followed by one 60-minute race, and the guys will have another 15 minutes practice there before we jump in for a second 60-minute race. Guys will have mandatory pit stops, mandatory tyre changes, and a mandatory driver stop, all in a pit window of 10 minutes. And what we do have, John, is very exciting, is the top 10 reversed from race 1. So top 10 results from race 1 will be reversed for the second 60 minutes. So always makes it very interesting when we reverse that grid off. But speaking of grids, let's take a quick look at the standings there, John.
Indeed. Ready to jump all over you once again, Kane. I'm just getting strategy meeting to go on as the broadcast goes on. Good evening, Alan Brown. Dr. Nailbender is in the house. All your medical needs are now fully covered. Alan Brown, good luck for Q-Boys. B. Gibbons in the chat as well. But yes, the standings. It was Thomas Eng Sim Racing. 2 trips onto the podium, one of only 2 teams to do so. Third in race 1, the reverse order grid working in their favour. Race 2 with a win. Rocket Simsport second and third. A valiant effort in race number 2. The bottom step on the podium, but a podium nonetheless. Team Ballas Ukraine, absolutely no slouches either. Just off the podium in race 1, more than made up for that in race 2 with a solid second place. VDS Sim Racing then in the McLaren, right in the middle of a whole lot of McLarens. The top 6 are McLarens. Did someone say Meta? I hope not, but in fact the Italian job, the main non-beneficiaries from the reverse order grid. The one, race number 1, 14th in race number 2, sees them 6th. Auga Motorsports sitting in 7th with NCR Esports Legends in 8th place. PLR Esports in 9th, and Simply Race Esports 14th and 9th in 10th position. And Tire Sim Racing, Kane, in 11th.
Yes, exactly, John. Tire Sim Racing there in 11th. Standings very close here. So 11th place there, 126 points. 12th place, RNL Raw there, 125 points. Joint in 13th with 2S Esports on 125 points also. Then we've got the Petrol Aficionados in 14th position. Got another Italian job entry in a McLaren there, 15th. Down in 16th position, we head to Simply Race Esports, and they're at 104 points. And Esport Racing, a Lamborghini. Lots of Lamborghinis, lots of McLarens out there in the mix in 17th there. And then one of my favourite team names there, John, Yellow Submarine Squad in another McLaren, sitting on a tidy 100 points in 18th position. We've got the Fox and Sox in 19th, and another FRL Racing team entry in the Lamborghini there in 20th.
Indeed, yeah, the Lambo doing well there. A couple of Lambos dotted about, definitely in the McLaren heavy field. But SRE Sports, though, in the Porsche, find themselves in 21st. Absolute Motorsport, a couple of disappointing results by their standards, I'm sure. We'll see them come back over the season. In FRL, 23rd. Tire Sim Race, they've got another car in the top 25, 24th. And Michener Motorsport in 25th. That, though, was in Spa. Spa is in the rear view mirror. This is the home of spaghetti bolognese. It's Bologna. That was really bad, I'm sorry. We're in Italy this evening, Kane.
we are in Italy, John. We are very much in Italy here at Imola. And a track that has a long link with speed, dating back to all the way back to 80 BC. The Romans created an amphitheatre in the area for their chariot racing. Fast forwarding to more recent times sees us left with a 4.9 kilometre or 3 mile long track consisting of 19 corners altogether. 22, I think, if you 21, 22 if you count the little kinks after Ravazzo. 19 corners. Track relatively remains the same shape. Just a couple of extra little bits added there, including the Tamburella chicane there, added in 94 after plenty of high-speed accidents around very, very fast left-hander that used to be turn 1. Said founded in 1953, unchanged from 1994. Do have 8 corners to the right, 11 to the left. The total elevation height change of 111 feet. So a couple of uphills, a couple of downhills there, John. Just adds to the interesting race we're about to see.
It does, yeah. Mostly flat track. You're not talking Laguna Seca levels of road camber here. Certainly there's no overcooking the lefts at Zandvoort, even that can go that way at my beloved Barcelona, believably. But there is a bit of elevation changing here. It is a phenomenally historical track, dating way back when, although only one of the surviving pit buildings, or one of the buildings, the tower, survives in the pit lane after the whole the 1994 redo. Dr. Neil Bender says it's going to take him a while to recover for that one. I have apologised and I asked him not to leave. Doc Richard, another Doc, Rob G in the chat as well. Good evening, how we doing? I'm excited for this one. Some really serious talent out on track, and it's some serious talent that we can see much hampered in race number 1, but still got the job done. Referee Jeffrey Ritchie there. Oh, and just as I say that, Eric Delfant goes second. Some of these times that we saw, we had a quick look in during practice, Kane. The times are going to change massively over the next few minutes, obviously. But yeah, we had a look in at some of the times at the start, and eye-watering pace at the minute from some of the time. It's frightening.
Quite rapid, absolutely, John. And McLaren's setting the pace at the moment. As you were mentioning there, we did catch a little bit of practice, and these guys already well and truly into those times already, with 1 minute 40.3 being set by the fastest McLaren out there at the moment, Del Fante, in the 179 car. But yeah, these guys are on for some quick racing out there in these relatively short stinted races. So guys have only got 10 minutes to make that pit stop. You assume that'll be very close to the middle of the race to give these drivers equal chance to do their thing out on track. But so 2 drivers per car, short little 30-minute stints. We'll see plenty of action out there as the guys start to heat up and bring these times in.
Yes, indeed. And the track has only just gone to optimum, Kane, so it is about to get a whole lot quicker. This does always make qualifying just a little bit more interesting. The track has just gone from fast to optimum, so it has hit a good temperature. It is well rubbered in, so the times are about to get even quicker. As frightening as that sounds for us mere mortals that may be watching this. 140 exactly, blue cheese. That's that's only a fast track, exactly. It's absolutely horrifying pace. Horrifying pace. We've still got a couple of drivers that haven't quite set a time yet. James Williams, a 1:43.7, so that's still way quicker than I've ever gone, and that is, he finds himself 3.5 seconds off the pace. When he's gone full tilt, there we go. I know that he does like to listen to the broadcast, so hopefully I didn't put him off. He does like to have as much information at hand as possible. So hopefully us talking about him hasn't put him off. Good evening, James. Good luck in this evening's race. But yeah, 1:43.7, and he finds himself 23rd position. A little shake in the front of the car there, just to say hello. You've Zedski. Team Ballas goes second at the minute. I would keep you up to date with the times, but they're going to change right over the board. We've got 8 minutes to go to say the track has just gone optimum. Rafa Campos at the minute as a marker, 1:41.4. He'll do a 1 minute 40. He's got at least a second and a half that he's going to take off his time in that Porsche. Joe Tomlin as well. He's going to go a lot quicker. So's Benjamin X. So's Nigel Longdon. There's a lot of drivers that Malt Polly, don't expect when he does set a time, he will mix it up at the top. Max Leonard as well is what I was looking for there. The Panda Esports racing team. The Lambo should do well here tonight, and Max carrying some time. Rafa Campos going quicker. There's Martin Klassen, SRE Rocket Sim Sport. Up in the front couple of rows and carrying a bit of time as well, and Jeffrey Ritchie Kane. It really is all a McLaren affair up at the top, and it's Ritchie who is leading the McLaren charts. Half a second he's got on the rest of the field, but again, that could well be temporary given the track conditions. But yeah, that's the minute of 1:39 comfortably, 2/10.
Yeah, as you said, comfortably. It's the 39s in there for Ritchie, leading the way from Thomas Engie Sim Racing team there. So off to a good start after their good results last week at Spa. So we'll be looking to hold on for a good chunk of this top row at the moment. At least we've got plenty of drivers out there still setting some decent times, just getting into the groove. There's still 6 minutes left to qualify. Doesn't sound like much, but everything can happen in just a couple of laps here for sure.
Yeah, of course, yeah. As long as the drivers cross the finish line and start a lap with 1 second left in qualifying, that are allowed to finish that lap and collect the time. At the minute, there'll be so the track has evolved, which I'm sure the drivers will make it. Oh, Delfanti's equaled them. They've done identical times. Why do I sound surprised? They have 1 minute 39.780. They've done identical times. Yeah, I don't know what's more surprising. The fact that it's happened, or the fact that I sound surprised that elite level drivers are making their way around over 3 miles of tarmac and lapping absolutely identically. Incredible.
Yeah, incredible. It's just that. John Delfanti comes to a bit of a slowdown just before turn 1, getting a reset on those cars. A little bit of a slow lap here before he'll hit that time again and try and separate the two McLarens at the top there. But yeah, ridiculous. Ridiculously quick there with 39.780. So Jeffrey Ritchie did go quicker himself, and then equalled by Delfonte just seconds later. Yeah, ridiculous. Ridiculously how close that could get.
Yeah, absolutely frightening. I mean, and it's a story that's obviously mirrored down the field. We've got 0.570. So if you're going to round in that up or down, you're going to round that to 0.6. You've Zedski 0.615. It's effectively a 0.6. A Gornikov 0.65. So those three, 6 tenths behind. Then you've got Nopek and Illinger, 8 tenths behind. Pollock 9 tenths behind. Then it's Crook, Cesar and Rubia at 1.2 seconds behind. Milodanovic 1.3. Then Pasepko and Campas are both at 1.4. Lyndon Majian at 1.5 each. Leonard 1.6, Tell 1.7, and then a 3/10 jump. So there is a tenth or less separating the field right down to 20th position. And we've got Craig Hill and Malt Polly still to set times, and I do, as I say, expect Polly to pop that McLaren somewhere up near the sharp end of the grid. And that's goes so let me just put my teeth back in the correct way. And Rubia and Milodanovic both up on their times. Milodanovic 4/10 up. I'll see him jump 4 positions, another 10th. You'll get potentially another 2 out of that. That is how close it is. Richie and Delfante, what a duel they're having. Gornikov, he's looking to get involved with Klassen as well. In fact, he might even take Klassen's place here. Milodanovic, he's lost some time there through sector 3. He is going to go quicker. It's not. Oh, it is going to be enough. But is it going to be enough to hold it? As in Rubia is still into the lap. Sorry, wrong McLaren. He's still got a couple of corners left to go. Jimmy Lind 3/10 up. We've got James Williams 3/10 up. Ian Thompson set a time and it's going 4/10 quicker in the Mercedes, which it's safe to say, Kane, it's definitely one of the greatest sounding GT3 cars of all time. The Mercedes.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely one I go back to just for the sound even sometimes. As Michael Sim in an Alan McLaren 6/10 on his current time there, so let's see him jump up a few places and get that held on to. 8/10, good exit at Navazo there. So Michael in the YSS team jumps up into 13th position, so a good chunk of positions gained there. Guys, 2 minutes left now, so not long to get on that quick lap that they need, if they need it. But Jeffrey Ritchie and Fonte still separated by nothing there, John.
Yeah, incredible. And yeah, it's amazing how 6 minutes of qualifying suddenly turns into 2 minutes of qualifying. And with the track again rubbering in, we're seeing Milodanovic has just been overtaken by Ben Crook, who's popped one into 11th, but it might all be for naught as Milodanovic he's found more time. He's just been overtaken by another driver as well. Gornikov is up, Delfante is up, but Milodanovic is about to make a big move across the line if he brings this home, and he does, and he has gone 5th position for the Fun Sim race, and he really is having some fun out of there. That's now 3 drivers 6/10 of a second off of pole position, and a Gornikov looks like he wants to separate himself from the group, but he does have pole sitter Jeffrey Ritchie looking to improve on his time directly behind him, and Illinger is a 10th up. We've also got Malt Polly. He set a time 15th position, and quicker on this lap. Ian Thompson and Joe Pleister for MMS set a time, getting ahead of Williams, who's in the pits. That'll be him done with qualifying. Oh, so many changes still on the horizon here. I do love these calm little moments before the storm. The opening 12 minutes of qualifying, and then here we go as the timer ticks down again. Still plenty of time for laps. In fact, another one. Not plenty of time for laps. Plenty of time for another lap. Dominic Illinger is going to cross the line. Oh, a bit quicker. So too Klassen behind him, quicker as well. Illinger's just been overtaken. Cesaro to 8th, Nopek in 7th. Illinger's about to jump both of them again. No. Oh, he's gone on the second row. But it's going to be. Oh, well, he might hold his position on the second row. Klassen for SRE. Rocket crosses the line. He does go on to the second row. Milodanovic is in the pits. Gornikov then. Could he be the final fly in the front row ointment? He's got 4/10 of a second in his pocket. Down through that ditch. Oh, yes, and he's held it. He's got an FRL Lambo ahead of him. Ritchie and Delfante, absolutely identical times, Kane, and Gornikov is, he's just lost 3/10. Max Leonard, though, he hasn't just lost 3/10. And Klassen is 3/10 behind the sea. Okay, this is incredible. Sorry, it was just, two of them at the top cannot be separated. Richie must be the fourth integer ahead, and Klassen finding time, so too Agornikov. It's right down the wire again. Agornikov was fourth.
Yeah, trying to find a time to jump in here, John, and talk about something. Klassen here, Martin, in third position at the moment. A little bit of time in his sleeve, got a little bit of traffic in the way as well, so we'll see what happens there. Could work with, could work against. Might be able to use the slipstream to finish this off. Currently, it's 3/10 up, John.
Yep. Oh, let's hope this Audi doesn't hold him up, because that is going to be very, very quick. And is he going to get the slipstream? He's almost going to have to bump draft his way across the line. He was 3/10 up. The Audi's moved over. He's crossed the line. He's got 2/10 and he's gone. He stayed in third by 500ths of a second. There's 500ths separating the first three, Kane.
Holy John, we are in for a treat tonight. These guys have really hit their mark and hit the ground running here. Guys, head into the intermission session. We've got a minute and a half left before we see this formation lap. And it's absolutely on for a cracker of a race tonight.
Yes, it really is. James in the chat, he's got the incident outcome sheet. There's he loves these spreadsheets, says James. They're phenomenal. It works. There is the link if you want to get involved and have a keep an eye on the outcomes for incidents and things. I'm sure Kane is having that a quick click at the moment as well. And also confirmation he was indeed listening. So, good to know, James. Good to know. But a quick run down, let me see if we can get that some actual timetables. Nope, we can't get that at the moment. Right, we'll have a look at that in the warm-up lap, but let's look at this here. It is Richie and Ladkey leading the way. Delphant and Dealia. That's 139.8. Only two cars to go under 1 minute 40, and they both set exactly the same time. Klassen and Stamenkovic are going to start in third, with Agornikov and Rakhmetov in fourth. Veldman and Illinger in fifth place. Leonard and Loesch will start in sixth. Pitchik and Yuzetsky are going to be in seventh, with Kops and Miladanovic eighth place for Miladanovic after that lap. Nopek and Dale in ninth. Cesar and Schaefer in 10th, and Rubia and Suarez on row number 6, side by side with Nateman and Pollock. Crook and Trizolde starting in 13th, with Chowdhury and Lynn in 14th position. On row number 8 it will be Mashin and Zupanchik, with Haleman and Pauly in 16th position. Vermeer and Syme in 17th. Pasemko and Gagliardini in 18th place. Zakdal and Campos in 19th. There we go, we're off and running. Hill and Pooley 20th place. Redfern and Tomlin 21st. Goodway and Eck in 22nd place. Robinson and Brown 23rd. Longton and Jones in 24th. Plaister and Feltham 25th. Woodford and Conway in 26th, with Thompson and Gedman in 27th. Hill and Evans in 28th, and Broth and Williams going for the last to first FRL challenge in 29th position. Still for the guys, so let me just fix that. My apologies, that should do that. But yeah, unbelievably close times again, Ken. I mean, we can't talk enough about how close that qualifying was. 500ths of a second separating the top 3. It's reverse order top 10 in race number 2. This is Imola. Take your choice of conversational topic, my good man.
Yeah, plus plenty of tight little groups in through that field to watch all through this race. So not just the top 3 there, are the 3 that are going to be what to watch. Klassen there with a very hot final lap. Can't help but wonder what could have been without the little bit of slower traffic in front, whether it did help gain those couple of tenths there to jump up, a little bit of slipstream, but maybe didn't help so much in the couple of the corners there. But yeah, super tight qualifying. What have we got? 4 McLarens on the front, but they'll be chased down by the rest of these manufacturers, no doubt. See how they handle for the 60 minutes coming up.
Indeed, yeah, 260 minutes. Oh yeah. The King D in the chat. I hear the beautiful voice of Raven in here. You do indeed, young man. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for tuning in. Another phenomenal streamer, actually. So make sure you give him a follow. But welcome in. Formula Racing League. It is the road to the Grand Finals, the Super Sprint to the Grand Finals, no less. It is 7 rounds, 14 races, 1 hour per race, 1 mandatory pit stop, 1 mandatory tyre and driver change, and a reverse top 10 for race number 2. Of course, we saw that work in the favour of some teams, not quite so much in the favour of others, and of course that is the one that has just closed on me, but that's fine because we're getting to the start of the race anyway. Yeah, we've got 29 cars starting this one, 58 drivers vying for those 5 guaranteed spots in the final. 3 in GT3 cars, 2 in GT4 cars, and then 3 places in the playoffs in October. All up for grabs. And it's Jeffrey Ritchie that has grabbed himself pole position by the 4th integer. Could not be separated by thousandths of a second over almost 4 miles of track. It really doesn't get any closer than that. There was the finish line. There is the pit lane. A detrimental one at that, given the track length. The pit lane here is not the best, and it's green lights, it's foot down, it's flat out. It's a great start by the McLarens, which is easy to say because they've locked out the front 2 rows of the grid. Dominic Illinger leading the German manufacturers, charged with the Audi going into turn number 1. Oh, there we go. That is exactly why they're separated by 500ths of a second in qualifying. They're classing in Delphante, changing wing mirrors there as Yuzetski going side by side. The Team Ballast driver looking to pop one round the outside. The Lamborghini's going to go full defend mode. Oh, he's got 2 wheels on the gravel, another 2 wheels on the gravel behind from Nopek in the Lamborghini. Sees Pollock gaining some ground. They've bunched up a bit there through Death Zone Bend and around the outside. In the foreground, actually, it's David Cesar making a good move. It took me a second there. I'd normally see him driving a Mercedes, but he's just popped himself right back in front of the Team Ballast car there. Haleman and Joe Tomlin getting good starts. Joe Tomlin getting a move. No, he's not, sorry. Rafa Campos has fended that one off, and it is a clean start. I can confirm that everybody made their way through the first few corners. Absolutely beautiful. As you can see on the radar, the track map there, the cars in a beautiful line. Let's see if they get thrown down through to, oh, here we're coming into the final chicane then. Big move by the McLaren up the inside. The Mercedes tries to fend that off. He's spun up, he's straightened them up. Rafa Campos goes wide. Here comes not Joe Tomlin, that is not the Madhouse car. I know which McLaren that is. 16th place, it's Haleman. So it is Haleman there on the blue and black McLaren into the final corner. Kieran, my deepest apologies, Kane. I don't think I've ever called you anything more offensive. I'm really sorry. But yeah, this has been an unbelievable. Oh, we're going to see Michi Milanovic. He's not going for a move on Max Leonard. Oh, we're going to see a move in the background. Oh, Yuzetski thinking about it. Too much action, Kane. Great start from lap number 1 by all the drivers, though. They've all made that through absolutely beautifully, and great battles all over the field already.
Yeah, absolutely great battles all over the field and super clean, like you said. Great start from the whole field there as Jeff Ritchie looks to establish a bit of a lead here, try to break away from those following McLarens up in first place. But front 4 as they were, sorry.
Oh, sorry, I keep trying to interrupt you.
Turn away a little bit.
Sorry, but Benjamin Egg here, look at the train of cars he's got. Saint Robinson, Campos now down to 23rd, Longton, Woodward and Hill. It does not get any closer than this. We've just seen David Hill manage to get himself a bit of a breakaway, and then it is absolutely chasing the leader with Benjamin Egg currently that leader in the Lamborghini heading down the hill into the very tricky double right-hander. only look how close they're all getting there. There's James Williams. Oh no, it's Nigel Longden, sorry, in the background. But there is James Williams. So the field all still very, very close indeed. But that was incredibly close. That was down at the back of the field there. Beautiful driving again by all concerned. Sorry, Kane, but I had to give that a bit of a nod there. That was incredible stuff with them. And David Hill doing well to break away. But back up the front, sorry, you were saying, yeah, Jeffrey Ritchie and Delphante, they are absolutely flying and classing the top three, proving exactly why they had that gap at the outward qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. Followed nose to tail there as a move. Look, the roars, they almost come together here, turn one at the chicane. But yeah, brilliant vision there from the back of Benjamin X car. Looked like he was leading a formation lap there with the two wide at times there, full speed formation lap. But yeah, these guys well and truly on the pace already tonight.
Oh yeah, they really have hit the ground running, and so too are Gornikov and Ellinger actually. I'm saying that the top three are showing their head and shoulders above the rest. Ellinger and Gornikov, they are absolutely more than hanging in there as well. Yuzeski, Cesar and Milodanovic are having an awesome battle for 7th. Lynn Pollock and Mashin are also battling with Pasemko involved in that battle as well. There's a whole lot going on, but we're going to need to stay with this battle for what is effectively the lead of the race. We've got the top 5 drivers in the race, separated by 1.4 seconds at the moment around Imola, and you can see just how much they're abusing those curves. And in fact, we're saying that they're not even breaking away. Max Leonard, it says he's 1.5 seconds down the road, but that does not look like 1.5 seconds as they hear their way down into Ravazza once again. Of course, we had the opening shots on the camera. Klassen, he's clocked the fastest opening lap. He's lost a little bit of time there out of that last corner as Delphante now all over the back of Ritchie. He's going to be in the slipstream. This is going to be side by side into turn number 1. Which line is Ritchie going to take? He's going to offer the McLaren to the outside. Little bit of contact there. Ritchie re-establishes the middle line, then takes the driving line through as the cutback on exit open. Oh, and a little bit of understeer there on the front of the McLaren. Had to be righted on the exit, but the top two certainly look like they're doing a bit of a breakaway at the moment. Then Klassen giving a bit of breathing space. Oh, we're seeing somebody tumbling down the order. Oh, David Cesar's lost a couple of positions there. He was up to 8th place. Oh, and he's just almost went at the back. Let's have a... Oh, we've maybe gone a bit quick there, but let's have a look and see what happened to David Cesar. I'm not sure if this was an unforced error into... Oh no, that's not the second chicane, sorry. That's Ravazza from the helicam. So we're going to go past, of course, the pit entrance here. So potentially into turn number 1. Ellinger at the moment is ahead of him. Nopek seems to have gained a position as well. Yuzeski is definitely ahead at this point as well. So let's see what happened with Cesar into turn number 1. Yuzeski certainly a long way back from there. Oh, and there's an Audi off track. Oh, hopefully that's not... The McLaren's tried to take corrective, preventative measures. The Audi's got himself out of the way, but that has been too little. Too late for David Cesar. He loses a position, and in fact David Ellinger does manage to just stay ahead of him, so he did lose the 1 position there, and that's where we jump back on board to see that unfolding. But it's Yuzeski then up to 7th. David Cesar taking avoidant action after Ellinger's off-track excursions, but he's straight back into the slipstream. So too though Delphante still well and truly in the slip. Oh, Klassen completely missing the first chicane there. That's going to put him under serious threat and pretty instantly from a Gornikov then coming towards the second chicane. Cesar and Ellinger still inseparable. Campos and Haleman, they're having a phenomenal battle with David Hill for 18th position. We're going to keep an eye on these top 4. Well, I'm certainly going to keep an eye on. Kane, what have you been keeping an eye on? This is incredible stuff. No idea where to look, but I'm going to keep an eye on the top 4. What have you been keeping an eye on? Probably these as well.
Here, there, everywhere, John. Currently on board with Jimmy Lynn, all under pressure there from Porsche behind. That's in 13th position. So yeah, battles, like we said, forming all through the group here. A couple little separate groups forming, but real tight little middle group there, as you have been keeping an eye on there with Cesar and Nopek involved. back of the pack. James Williams making a position there on Ian Thompson at the back of the field there. And we've got our first penalty on board. John David Hill with SRE Simply Race Esports team pick up the 15-second. So 10 minutes not even gone yet. 15-second penalty. So hopefully that doesn't translate for the rest of the race. But yeah, tyres warm. Track temperature 27 degrees. Jeffrey Ritchie just hitting quickest lap of the race. Could be topped. No, it isn't. But yeah, these guys really on pace at the moment.
Yeah, the top three, they really are. And like you say, there's I'm so scared we're going to miss some overtakes here. We are going to miss some overtakes. We'll do what we can to bring you the ball because we've got Pollock and Ruby and Nopek, Cesar and Illinger. They've got Milodanovic and Yudzecki just ahead of them. Yudzecki at the minute appearing to slightly be the cork in the bottle. Max Leonard keeping just about a safe distance from Milodanovic. But Milodanovic certainly got Yudzecki. Leonard's keeping a good distance from Yudzecki. Yudzecki fending off Milodanovic with Illinger, Cesar and Nopek tucked right under that rear spoiler, as we can see Ben Crook and Pazemko, they're having a battle down there as well. Will Gibson in the chat, Viva Jeffrey Ritchie. Will, he set an identical lap times in qualifying, identical 1 minute 39.780 was the time set by both cars on the front row of the grid, and you can see they're still incredibly inseparable through the final chicane. Jeffrey Ritchie really is getting to see the McLaren badge on the steering wheel and in the rear view mirror as Delphante really is pressing for the lead of the race, and it's no surprise given that Klassen and Gornikov, then we can see really has closed in. They've now got 3 seconds suddenly back to Max Leonard, who's got a solid change of cars just behind us. You can see them exiting Ravazza once again. The Panda Esports racing team got Yudzecki, Milodanovic and Illinger very close in attendance still, and as Kane mentioned there, Blaise Machin for SI Esports all over the back of Ben Crook, so a great battle going on there as well. Joe Tomlin is looking to get a move on Alexander Pollock. If
just
you
to
can.
cut in, John, battles all around. Here we got the top 4 side by side through the front chicane. They just filter in line, just managed through there, but Delphante down into 4th position, so big loser there.
Yes, indeed he has, yes. So let's jump back and watch how that one unfolded. So this is into Ravazza. It's hard to tell whether it's the second chicane or Ravazza, but you can see by the black line of the tarmac. So into turn number 1, they are close. It's Klassen and Agornikov who've both made good positions up here. Klassen most definitely. Delphante was looking again. Ritchie's shown him that outside line into the first chicane. He's got a good run on him. He's got his nose just in front. They're side by side on the way through. He's on the inside curb. Oh, the back of the car slightly unsettled. Ritchie with 2 wheels on the grass as well. Oh, they've made contact on the exit, and Klassen lost no momentum. In fact, he did lose momentum. He almost lost second place that he just gained as Agornikov comes through. He's had to take slight avoiding action there to the hindered exit of Jeffrey Ritchie, but Jeffrey Ritchie is still in the lead of the race. Klassen up to second, Agornikov in third, and Delphante down into 4th position as Kane just spotted. Incredible stuff, and we've got another 15-second penalty that's just been handed out. We'll get Kane check which car that is. Again into turn number 1, we're very close. Jeffrey Ritchie still lead. Martin Klassen, we've got the feeling he might have been slowed up in the closing stages of his qualifying lap, 0.05 of a second behind Ritchie, and Delphante wasn't qualifying, and that's about as far behind Ritchie as he is at the minute on track, and Delphante as well. We know he is absolutely no slouch. He's got a Gornikov. Oh, Klassen goes for a big move up the inside. There's been a bit of contact on the way in, and he's made his way through then. And in the background, Delphante looked like he was trying to get a move done as well. Lost the back of the car ever so slightly. Is Ritchie going to come straight back at him? No, he's not. As they head down into Tamburello, incredible action up at the front. Let's just have a look and see how this move was done then on the back of Klassen. Absolute precision driving. Oh, goes for a bit. Oh, he touched the curb, under rotated the car, sent him in a forward direction that potentially could get looked at in the flashing of the lights there. Confirmation Richie May one that looked at by the stewards. That's why we have stewards, so thankfully I get to remain neutral and the stewards get to deal with any potential inquiries. But Martin Klassen, SRE, Rocket, Simsport are now in the lead of the race, and I think, Kane, we could be about to see the real pace of Martin Klassen.
Yeah, exactly, John. Exactly what I was just going to mention there. Already pulling 3 to 4 tenths, or 7 tenths now as they cross the line on the timing board. So yeah, definitely going to see what that number 22 McLaren has got under the hood to propel it forward at the moment. Klassen wasting no time getting around Richie there. We will see what happens with any possible penalties handed out for that. Del Fonte still was showing really good pace early on in the race here, now stuck behind Bogomikov in third position, so we'll see if he can work his way back up the field as well. It's still battles right down through the field. Ben Crook under pressure. Jimmy Lynn's moved up his position, he's in 10th position now, so yeah, good stuff all around at the moment.
Yeah, it really is incredible. We've seen a Gornikov then going full defend mode a couple of times against Del Fonte, who really is trying to get himself back on that podium before the pit stop. Scores a 10-minute pit window smack bang in the middle of a 1 hour race, and everyone has obviously got to come in mandatorily, change their tyres and change drivers. I'm going to stay on board here. No, Mason and Crook as well, actually. Let's give a shout out to some of the drivers further down the field. We've got Mason and Crook still defending in that Mercedes, while keeping Kasemko and Jimmy Lynn firmly within his sights. And Ruby as well, he now finds himself in 20th position behind Michael Sainz there. Haleman down Robinson, that's Robinson. There's Haleman there. As we saw in the early exchanges, he was going side by side. I think he might have been involved in the contact with Hill. Oh, drive through for track limits, Kane. That is early for the Mercedes.
Yeah, Ian Thompson there was the other driver to pick up the 15-second penalty. So, wondering, could that have been for ignoring that penalty there, John?
Oh, potentially. Oh, no, you can't. Sorry, the time penalty is served it's just tacked on to your time in the pit, so it's like a stop-go. So okay, yeah, there isn't so there isn't a time limitation on that penalty. There is a time limitation on drive-throughs and stop-goes and things like that, but no, time penalties, like David Hill's got one, yeah, that'll just, he'll pull out the garage, stop, 15 seconds later, the mechanics will be allowed to start working. Tell you, are they going to be putting in as much work as Ben Crook is? The PLR Esports Fungus Racing driver actually look. Oh, has he got the drop up? It just comes to the commentator into the final chicane. This one is going to be close. He's going to be side by side. Has he got the run on Pacenko that he needs? The Mercedes is obviously, and as everyone knows, it is a cheat car over the curve, so it can handle the sauces curves a lot better than most others. That's why you'll find that's why some people drive it. Ravatsy, he had a touch on the curb. The Porsche is going to go round the outside. And I feel they should take a hand over a Kane here, because they did just mercilessly throw him under the bus, so I feel I do own the right to reply. But Crook at the minute, Kane, he's having a phenomenal race so far. He's kept Pazenko in his sights while keeping Mason in his rear view mirror.
Yeah, no, the battle does rage on over the Mercedes cheat status as Crook almost throws it down the inside of Pacenko there. The battle does rage on between this mid-pack group here. The Ferrari leading the way from that Mercedes. Ferrari not doing too bad over the curbs itself there, John. So maybe just take a little bit of time to catch up and work out how to handle these curbs in a car like the real guys do. of raw power. Oh, we've got a spun car, number 2. That's Pollock in the background, 14th position. As we talk.
Yeah, let's have a look then. Yeah, nonsensically. Good word for this time in the morning, Ken. I like it. Across the start finish.
You hear the surprise in my voice too.
Indeed. Yeah, let's jump on board this replay though. It is Pollock coming into the first chicane. Big look up the inside. They've made contact on the way in. Car slightly unsettled on the way out, but all looks fine on the exit. Rafa Campos. Oh no, that's Michael Syme. So yeah, let's see, into the second chicane. Oh, he's heavy on the brakes there. Yep, he's going to lose the exit. Oh, and double contact there as the and that is very clumsy to say the least by the Lamborghini then. And that is Alexander Pollock now down to 18th position. Position gained for Campos, Hill and Tomlin then, I believe. Yes, it was no pit. Guerrilla Racing. The McLaren was saw, the Lamborghini was saw involved in that battle there. You'll excuse me for saying there's McLarens involved in battle. In battles, the top 5 are all McLarens, and the top 4 are still entrenched in this battle. Martin Klassen has got himself into the lead. It's a 1.1 second gap that he's got. 1 minute 40.447 his quickest lap. Richie's quickest lap, 1 minute 40.437. So 500 separated them in qualifying, 100th separates them out here on track. Zagornikov not too far behind. He's got Delfante ahead of him once again. So back on the podium there. What impressions can he make on the lead that Klassen has got? Can he get himself past Ritchie first? No mean feat. Uzetzky and Illinger with Leonard then. Leonard up to 6th position, or sorry, down to 6. Miladanovic of course ahead. Uzetzky and Illinger still hanging on the back there. Cesar's going to drop a few positions given how close the field is. So too Hill. Not the best race for the BMW in round 1, race 1 and 2. Certainly that 15-second penalty again going to be a big impact in that pit stop phase. Benjamin Eck is the driver I was looking for there. He's in the an FRL Lamborghini for this one. And down into Ravazza is Robinson and Longdon, a trio of FRL cars in 21st, 22nd and 23rd, so no crazy moves likely to be seen there. Yeah, maybe sharing a bit of slipstream between the three of them. Haleman still trying to get his way past Pleister as well, down at 25th after being on the receiving end of that contact. And Craig Hill, king of the hills in fact, trying to get his way past Neil Woodward. Another one of the FRL cars. James Williams up a position at the minute. We've got another penalty handed out for car 22. Ooh, and it is indeed Martin Klassen. Oh, and in the background we're seeing a move. Delfante. He thought about a move on Ritchie there. It didn't quite pay off, or as he got the runner up on the exit. Ritchie looked a bit unsettled there on the exit. Really had to throw it in to defend that line then. We'll come back to Klassen's penalty as a second as we head down into Ravazza. It's lap number 13 that is about to be finalised, and is it going to be finished with Ritchie in second? He's still got the fastest lap of the race. Klassen not quite pipped it yet. Again, only 100th of a second separating the fastest laps of the two of them set. No move from Delfante. Jeffrey Ritchie getting the McLaren back under his control again, although look at the difference close, look at the gap close with the substitute again. Ritchie preferring that inside line. Every time he's been at someone's trying to make a move, he's showed them the outside line. He's just held his line beautifully through that chicane. Is it enough this time around though? And is Gornikov going to be the driver that finds himself as the main beneficiary, because he is definitely in that slipstream as well. I've often said the third man in the equation is the best placed. Oh, he's just dipped a wheel on the gravel, so that's going to put him out of contention through turn number 6 up the hill. These three absolutely inseparable. Klassen now with a 1.8 second gap, Kane, and a 5 second penalty for the driver in the lead. So his objective now clear. get a 5-second gap before I come into the pits.
Yeah, that's right. Get that 5 seconds out in front. Give the driver handing over to the best possible start to resume that first place position. But yeah, 5 seconds being dished out for that slightly ungentle passing technique from Klassen to get around Ritchie. But yeah, Ritchie and Del Fonte just resuming their battle, currently for second. These two front of the grid. Ritchie had, super pace. As we said, both of them split by nothing, so identical times in qualifying. But Del Fonte looks to have the better race set up for McLaren there at the moment. We head into what will be the final lap, I think, before the pit window will become available. So see who blinks first here, who gets their second driver in, and away for the second half of this race.
Yeah, the track getting ever so slightly warmer as well, so they'll take that into consideration for those all-important tyre temps. At the minute though, the all-important thing is making their way through blue flag traffic. 14 laps in, and only the top 16 on the lead lap. Well, just to say that another 4 cars joined them. Certainly Thompson, Williams, Hill, Woodward, and even Haleman look like they might get themselves lapped before we get to the pit stop phase. Such is the pace being shown up in front, and in fact that is Ian Thompson who finds himself right in the middle of the lead group. Yeah, and then we can see Serbi's drive-through penalty, so the 15-second penalty has returned. He will still have to serve that when he comes into the pits. He's got first place just ahead of him. They're second, third and fourth. It's a good thing the Mercedes is good over the curbs. If he's run a bit wide there, he's going to let all 3 of them through. Always breathe in when one of these cars goes on the grass here. You're never quite 100% sure exactly how it's going to react when you put your foot on the loud pedal. And there we go, pit window bang on. So Kane was 100% correct, of course. That's why I've got him here, to keep me right. That is the last lap before the pit window opens, and Jeffrey Ritchie, the first driver to come in, Kane. He doesn't fancy continuing the battle, looking to get a bit of clear air for his teammate as Max Leonard comes in from the top 10 as well.
Yeah, Jeffrey Ritchie straight into the pits when that becomes available. So only 9.5 minutes or 30 seconds of that pit window, and just timed it perfectly. Going to set his teammate out there for the final 34 odd minutes of this race. So keep an eye on where Ritchie does come back out in the field, if a little bit of traffic plays into those, or whether the teammate will be able to get some quick times straight on the board. So yeah, definitely one to keep our eye on. Del Fonte resumes his battle, wants to catch up to Klassen before that pit window. Klassen with that 5-second penalty, so that's going to drop them down a position or 2. Was only 5 seconds separating the top 4 or 5 positions. A handful of laps to go, so still on pace. Front group of drivers out there at the moment.
Yeah, Jeffrey Ritchie is handed over to Matthias Ladke at 25th position. Remy Loesch taking over for Panda Esports. Pollock is in as well for Simply Race Esports. They're getting their pit stop done. Christopher Gedman on his way back out in the Mercedes. And a 5-second penalty for car number 7 as Benjamin Eck picking up a penalty. Yeah, and handy timing as well. Let's face it, you want to grab these penalties, but if you're going to get a penalty, you're better to pick it up before the pit stop rather than have an impact, have an even bigger impact potentially when it gets added to the timing at the end of the race. Of course, race number 2, the finishing results for race 1 will stand. The top 10 from race 1 will have their positions reversed, and that will give us the starting grid for race number 2. Mike Pasepko coming in for Absolute Motorsport, coming in from 14th position. Ladke out in 25th. That just goes to show you how close the field is, Kane. Even after 30 minutes, he comes the fastest car on the track, comes back out the pits in 25th position. It's yeah, unbelievably close still.
Yeah, absolutely. 19 drivers currently on the lead lap out there, so of the 29 that started, still 19 on the lead lap. Did see Semco come in with that 5-second penalty as well, which only just got handed out the last couple of laps, so the team probably lucky that was done before the pit stops. They can get that out of the way now and concentrate on the final 31 minutes. Yeah, a host of drivers into the pits, getting that mandatory stop done early on, midway in this window. So yeah, James Williams just in the pits there now, and Del Fonte into the pits, or Bronikov in behind as well. So second and third in the pits. We're going to see very quickly how the strategy will pay off for what was our second position, was it?
Yes, second position.
Hingy. Yep, racing team. Sorry, early morning, still dark outside. Let's go. Second half of the race, 30 minutes. Oh, it's Hill just off track as well, midway through that circuit. Just had jumped on board with Ladke there, who was second position, took over from Richie. Almost come in the way of Hill, one of the one of the drivers yet to pit, so that could have been costly there for Ladke, but does keep that McLaren intact and looking shiny and reflective as ever.
Yeah, that's we're going to find out if it did have any impact very, very quickly. As you say, Del Fonte into the pits, Carlo Delia out of the pits. There he is exiting, and there is Ladke, and he is going to be giving him a chase. And and a Gornikov's car almost getting ahead as well then. That is Rakhmetov that's taken over, and Ladke very lucky to hang on that position then, so potential that he almost did lose some time there. So actually, there's Rakhmetov there, it's in 17th, so yeah, Timur Rakhmetov taking over for the VDES car that was running in 4th place, and very nearly getting in front of Ladke, so potential that Ladke was held up ever so slightly through that lap, and that's thrown him right back to the Wolves once again. Miladanovic, Fun Sim Racing coming into the pits, Cesar and Yuzetsky into the pits as well, so too Ben Crook, closely followed by Jimmy Lynn as well. They're all flying in, all except the race leader Martin Klassen. The SRE Rocket Simsport driver still out there, still looking to extend his gap to 5 seconds at the minute. I was going to say it's anyone's guess whether he is, but I'm sure there are boffins and brains aplenty behind the scenes for Klassen, keeping him fully up to date with the exact time. Oh, we've got a drive through for track limits, the second one so far, only 32 minutes into the race, 20 minutes left. Alex Zagdal for Eclipse of Racing Esports in the Porsche, and again we've seen just how close the field is. The leader came into the pits and came back out in 25th position. Sorry, second place came in the pits and came back out in 25th position. So Zagdal currently in 23rd, really struggling to hang on to the back of that Porsche. I think we've just seen exactly why the track limits have been violated enough times to get a free trip into the pits. Woodward, Longdon and Robinson, the FRL trio, all pitting simultaneously. Tire Sim Racing, Salva and Rubia into the pits as well. 17th position there, Martin Klassen. Another lap out of the pits, goes past Haleman's car as well. So he is really not giving up any advantage that he feels he's got, being out on track. Remy Loest, Panda Esports Lamborghini closing in on Nico Veldman, who's taken over behind the wheel of the Fast Forward racing car. We've got a car disqualified for speeding in the pit lane. Wow, that must have been a massive amount of speeding in the pit lane. Chris Jones DQ'd from the race. Alex Akdal in serving his penalty. Remy Loesch still trying to get past Veldman. Stop go, Kane. Someone needs to maybe up the importance of track limits to some of the drivers. That's Neil Woodward handing over the car to Mark Conway. One of them has violated the pit lane. A stop go 32nd again. That's going to drop him massively down the grid. Cannot reiterate just how close it is out there, and that's a big drop down the field for them when they get that served.
Yeah, sure will. All drivers following have got their pit stops cleared, so that's going to see a huge drop. You can see right to the back of the field there. Malt Pauly had just come in for a stop-go penalty, has that cleared at the moment. Still got Klassen, Nopek and Eck all yet to pit, and two of those drivers with 5-second penalties as well. Evans off track in the background. King of the Hills Lamborghini gets it back on the black stuff and off and away. Yeah, Conway, not a good start to the second stint, 30 seconds. And also, like you touched on, Chris Jones with that disqualification. So, hugely unfortunate outing for the Long Smile team. Absolutely named right there.
It was just,
Sorry, take over again.
Nope.
Klassen and Novak into the pits. So we'll see where they will come out as well. So a couple of final pit stops there. Benjamin Eck yet to serve it. Got 32 seconds in that window. Will be coming straight in as we find him on track, fighting that pit lane right now. So Klassen, Novak, Eck into the pits. And handing over to the second driver.
Milos Stamenkovic coming out for the SRE Rocket Sim Sport team. There is Delia on the start-finish straight. There is Stamenko still to be released. And there goes, he's lost the lead of the race. He's lost the lead of the race, and I think he's lost second as well. The pit window closes. Delia is in the lead of the race. Stamenkovic is going to be overtaken by Hladky as well. Sorry, not Hladky as well. Rakhmetov as well. So they've gone from the lead of the race into fourth place. That is a huge pat on the back to the strategists of the lead three teams, or whatever it is. It's a huge pat on the back to the top three teams, because Stamenkovic, SRE Rocket Simsport, they stayed out to the end of the pit window. They led the race. That, of course, that 5-second penalty as well. After me preaching about how close it's been, sorry Ken, after me preaching how close it's been, it just goes to show you how detrimental a 5-second penalty can be, because if you look at that, the Rocket Sim Sport car are now 5.4 seconds behind the lead.
Yeah, exactly. They will come out right on the heels of those top positions, but unfortunately that 5-second penalty, so didn't get far enough out in front like he wanted to. Klassen's to hand over the car teammate for SRE Rocket Sim Sport McLaren, but still a McLaren-led affair. Front five built well and truly all McLaren. Before you see the first Audi, Lamborghini, another McLaren, Lamborghini, Porsche, Mercedes. So split up out there. Just looking down at 14th position. Ferrari there, 204. Didn't get a mandatory pit cleared, so Semco still in the car. Yeah, drama there with the driver swap. Semco out for the second half of this race. Did come into the pits, we seen a penalty cleared, but obviously no driver swap, so no mandatory pit has been cleared, so we'll see what happens there too.
Yeah, interesting for that one, because he's right in a battle with Schaefer and Chowdhury as well, as you pointed out, but we're just on board with that. Bjorn Dale out for Guerrilla Racing. I think they might got a penalty as well. Come under pressure from the Porsche. Carlo Delia though, ITJ setups, great racing, great strategy. They've got it done so far. Matthias Ladke for the Thomas Eng Sim Racing, currently leading the championship. Well, are only one round of 2 races in, of course. This is, I did say this was going to go right down to the final checkered flag. I think I will be proved correct on that summation. Remy Loesch is still looking to get his way past that Audi as well. And Schaefer, since taking over in the RNL Roar car, definitely putting a bit of pressure on Chowdhury ahead. Pasenko there, I think he's going to, well, he's definitely going to get a penalty because he hasn't met the mandatory requirements during the pit window. So that is going to be a slap on the wrist. And there's Jason Pooley then taking over a course from David Hill. Looking to get the car back up. They got up themselves a penalty as well. Back out in 18th position, all the back at the minute of Alan Brown, one of the FRL drivers, of course. In the chat, Fresh Brazil, Alan Brown aka Fresh Brazil. So he's out in the Texaco inspired livery. So just looking at Pasenko, he really is putting some pressure in, so I'm not sure. Well, I mean, to see he's putting on some pressure, he's quicker in sector number 2, so I think the overtake is there. I'm just not sure he wants to overly push, just in case he is about to receive a penalty anyway, because that would be, an even bigger penalty, which would be an even bigger problem, of course, and that is the last thing you need in a series like this. Schaefer has a good look round the outside. Oh, they've made contact on the straight. Not always the best as the car in the back has a look. There's going to be enough room on the inside. Nope, he's going to touch the back of them. Both cars make their way past, but the RNL Roar car has slowed up there. He tried to wait, it did look like, and I think he might. It's better to, in these situations, it's kind of better to keep rolling ever so slightly at least. And yeah, at this point you kind of just got to wait on the referee's decision there, eh? Okay.
Yeah, you see driver hesitation there, and first instinct was to slow down. Knew he was in the wrong. Didn't want to slow down and give that position back, but as soon as you look at it, car spun around. That could take 5 to 10 seconds to get back on track. If you're sitting on the side somewhere, it's just going to cause more chaos down the road. So definitely not intentional. Just a little touch of the bumper there, send him straight around. Did have a little bit more pace into the chicane area, but yeah, unfortunate there. What's not unfortunate, to be honest, is battle right back up front. Delia and Ladke, taken over from Richie and Del Fonte, have picked up where the 2 pole sitters with identical times started this race, and these 2 straight back on top of one another at the moment.
Yeah, they really are. They're absolutely battling away. Ladke showed the type of pace that got him into that pole position, but of course Dalia's car joined them on the front row of the grid. But he is closing that gap there, as you can see just how on the ragged edge these cars are. It is absolutely incredible how close they're getting, just how much steering correction they put into the cars. I've tried some of these esports setups, and wow, to say that these cars are looser on the edge is somewhat of an understatement. I've seen it a couple of times. Gornikov's car currently in third, of course. It was a bit lively at the hands of Gornikov. The drivers here really have got everything on power. Not quite so much on the old grip on the corner exit, but it is working for them. The lap times getting quicker. Ladke with a 140.130. So on that last lap there, Dalia just beat the lap record by 2/10 and was instantly beaten by a 10th by Ladke. So to say that these 2 again are lapping equilibriously is beyond an understatement. As you can see, a lot of dust still in the air from the car ahead of the McLaren. Delia say at the minute, Kane, from what we're seeing on screen, there is definitely an argument that Hladky is the quicker of the two at the minute, not just from the fastest lap, but that is, he is looking a bit quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. Super pace, as was his fellow driver at the start of the race. So, like you said, just resuming that battle straight away. Actually, the roles have reserves. Take a little bit of a look at the timing. Del Fonte, clearly the faster driver in the first stint on Jeffrey Ritchie. Now, Ritchie's partner, Hladky, is going to put the pressure on the second driver, Italia. So, very, very quick. These guys separating themselves from third and fourth at the moment. Nose to tail right through that whole lap you showed us on board there, John. So the battle far from over. 16, under 17 minutes left as the Ramatov in the background. Sorry, sent to the final corner. So that just shows the gap these guys have put out. A couple of drivers out in front and here getting laps. So we'll see some of this blue flag traffic might come into play for these positions here.
Yeah, they certainly might. Goes over those curves like a knife through butter. He clearly got more wing as he loses in the higher range. Right, okay, this guy mustered in the infield. They're all mustered in every part of the track. Wow, there we go, very quick. Top 5, top 6, all lapping in the 1 minute 40s. In fact, Ole Pitzig as well has done himself a 1 minute 40. In fact, so did Tim Schaefer in the RNLR road car. 13th position, so paced right through the field still. It's still very, very close between these top two. Redfern and Chowdhury. Chowdhury now finding himself under pressure, although gets a good exit from Ravat. Fends off the Big Brain Racing advance at the moment. And let's keep an eye on up the top though, because this is version, as Kane mentioned, the gap between the rest of the field is spreading out a bit. Stamenkovic really losing time to Rakhmetov ahead, who in turn is losing time to Hladky, who is losing 0 time whatsoever to Delhi as they come into Ravat. Only 15 minutes left of the race. All that tyre squeal as they come through the final couple of corners. Half a second separating them across the start finish line again. Trizoldi trying to get his way past Dell. He's got Supancic just ahead of him as well. It's a battle for 9th position then, a three-way battle there. The McLaren, the Porsche and the Lambo duking out. The Porsche, the Lambo and the Mercedes, my apologies. Pitzig is a bit ahead in the McLaren. It is Supancic, Dale and Trizoldi that are battling out for 9th. So at least got the position right, if not the drivers. Let's see how Delia is getting on through the second chicane. They've made their way past the first lot of blue traffic. They've got a little bit of time then till they hit any more. Oh no, sorry, my apologies. No, they don't. They've got a Porsche sat directly in front of them, who is quickly out of the way. That's of course the Eclipse racing car. We saw pick up a penalty drive-through for track limit violations with 32 minutes to go. And that's seen them tumble massively down the order. Pasemko still hasn't been in for the driver swap. Looks like the team without a second driver this evening and going to take a penalty on the chin. It will be a big time penalty, which will see them drop down at the starting order in race number 2, of course. So yeah, that's going to be a big uphill battle for them to get their way back through the pack. We saw how close it was in the opening stages of race number 1. And no reason to think it won't be the same, especially with the top 10 being reversed. That first chicane is going to be a whole lot of fun. It's out of Ravat again. Hladky right on the back of Delhi. We've got 13 minutes left to go. Dale still trying to get past Sapancik. Trizoldi still hanging in there as well. Jack Evans is out in the car for the King of the Hills, as Kane mentioned. Want Paulie back out. Derek Gruff out for FRL in the Ferrari. Jones will start dead last in race number 2. Trizoldi, as you can see, still under pressure from no, that's... oh, that's Mob Polly looking to unlap himself. There we go, that's why the proximity is close there. And that is the King of the Hills car that is ahead now of the two race leaders. So this is what it's all about now then, Kane. The top two, they've proved they can get it done in qualifying. They've proved that they've got the pit strategy absolutely on point. They've clearly got their tyres working as well. It's just about who can get their way through the blue flag traffic for the next 12 minutes.
Yeah, currently that blue flag traffic doing a great job of removing themselves from the way, so these guys can resume battle for the right reasons. And get a little contact in the background there following those two, so as well as Jack Evans doing to get out of the way of the front two. Third position there, not managing to do the same. A little further back, not third position, so that's another car in the way in between everybody at the moment. So yeah, definitely groups and bunches of cars coming up. Still 11 minutes left as these two still nose to tail. Ladke gets a run on, tries left, tries right, goes left again, and gets into the chicane first, but doesn't get it slowed down enough, John. He's going to lose a chunk of time there, joining the track, keeping it great and away from the walls, but yeah, good chunk of time lost.
Yeah, but look at that one again, out with a advance at the top two. Ladke looking to get the overtake. As I say, there's definitely an argument to be made that he is the quicker of the two at the minute, but it is D'Elia with the track position. He went right, he went left, he went up the inside. Oh, a massive avoiding action from the McLaren. He says, yeah, the brakes seem to have failed him there. He's had to stay in a straight line so as not to make too much overcorrection on the gravel and completely lose the car. But that, we're about to find out now if Matthias Ladke in the Thomas Eng Sim Racing McLaren is the quickest car on track. They've got 2.4 seconds now to make up the biggest gap that we've seen between the top two since the race started 50 minutes ago. Is it likely to end that way? At this point, Kane, 10 minutes to go. Ladke, it's a reverse order grid in race number 2. I already know the answer to this. I'm not an esports driver, so that's only why this is even a consideration to me. But Ladke, is there any universe that we see him taking it easy? A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. He's going to finish second, potentially pushing, might make mistakes, lose grip, whatever. Race number 2 with the top 10 in reverse, so he is going to be starting ahead of D'Elia anyway, or esports driver wants top spot.
Oh, 100% wants top spot, John. 100% wants top spot, wants to show D'Elia in front there how much quicker he can be on track. So we'll see. That was 2.4 seconds. If Ladke here can close the gap, might put the leading McLaren under a little bit more pressure if he sees that gap close rapidly over the next 10 minutes. But Ladke will definitely be looking for top spot. There'll be no second race considerations going on in the Thomas Engie Sim Racing garage at the moment. It'll be push, 9 minutes left. Tyres are good. Let's go and chase him down.
Yeah, 9 minutes left to get the job done. He's already found 2:10s. We're back on board with Lorenzo Tresoldi for the PLR Esports team. The Mercedes has been involved in some nose-to-tail action for the entire race, and Mike Pasemko for Absolute Motorsport looking to join in with that as well. In fact, in the background, Yevgeny Nietman still trying to find his way past Subham Chowdhury as well. So these two have had a great battle since they came out of the pits. Jack Evans in 28th position at the minute, just about to be blue flagged again. It's Chris Gedman and not again, about to be blue flagged. Gedman and Conway for FRL, 27th and 26th at the minute. Pauly for Lockup Racing after those penalties, down to 25th place behind Derek Brough, the FRL team now separated. Matthew Feltham is out for the MMS car. Find themselves running in 23rd place. Alex Zagdal out in the Eclipse Racing car, another car with a penalty. Just again, Shows you how detrimental those penalties have been in this sprint style 1 hour race. Well, it's not a sprint style race, sorry, there's a pit stop. But in the short 1 hour race, the grid has been so close. Down to 22nd position then for Zach Dalgoodway and Vermeer, 20th and 21st, sitting just inside the top 20. Alan Brown, another one of the FRL cars there. In fact, let's check on Yevgeny Nietman. Has he found a way past? No, he's not. He did get very close there. Pasemki getting close still as well with Frizaldi. And in fact, into turn number 1, this could be a bit interesting if he gets close enough. Not quite close enough. Oh, and he really is putting the foot down through that chicane. Hladky, he's putting the foot down through every chicane. The gap back down by, oh no, it's back up, sorry, 2.3 seconds once again. His last lap, 1 minute 41.1. Carlo Delia is 1 minute 40.0. So still lapping absolutely on top of one another, but I did think that was to do with Hladky being behind Delia. Let's see if Delia now, with a clear rear view mirror, in fact, is the faster of the two. It was driving defensively. Let's see what Hladky does across the line here. 1 minute 40.8, so he was 3/10 quicker than Delia in that last lap there, in fact. So Rakhmatov, any hopes he might have had of catching up are looking like they're being extinguished. 1 minute 41.6, still an otherworldly time, but 8/10 slower than the drivers ahead. And Stamenkovic, Kane, the SRE Rocket Sim Sport car, they got themselves in the lead. That 5-second penalty put them in 4th place, and it really has dropped them off the pace. Gone from 3 seconds in the lead to 2.8 seconds off the 3rd place, and they've got their work cut out in the their reverse order grid. They're going to need to make some moves early doors and get back out in front.
Yeah, all that hard work, Klassen put in that first stint. It gets undone with that 5-second penalty. We knew it was going to happen. We predicted Klassen would try and get as far out in front as possible, but yeah, just dragging that stint, possibly a lap or two too long. And, yeah, does lose plenty of time and has lost that on the track, as we saw. Do see Hladky in that gap down to 1.9 seconds last go around. So that's just closing in again a little bit. Well, there's still 5 minutes left, 2 seconds, it's a big ask. Probably a mistake from the McLaren in front, but unlikely to happen. It's been so consistent throughout this race, but we've just gone through times before. The guys still setting blistering speed out there. Yeah, lead driver with a 140.9 last go around, separated by just 4/10, so we hear a big ask from John. Is that Hladky trying to push there? Yes, it was.
Yeah, the old bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. That very analogy. The gap was down. He was closing the gap very, very handily indeed on that last lap again. 4/10 quicker. Just the McLaren not quite behaving. Oh, okay, yeah, that wasn't. That was a bit of an early turn in there, right over those inside curbs. That wasn't so much a misbehaving McLaren as an overly exuberant driver trying to get that win back once again. The gap now at 3.1 seconds. So again, that gap stretches out, and all to the benefit of Carlo Delia. Incredible scenes during qualifying. Started in 2nd place with exactly the same time as pole position. Now find themselves leading the race with 3 minutes left to go, and that 3 seconds is going to be a big ask now. Given the pace that they're showing, he could definitely get them within a couple of seconds, but it's going to be a big ask. Rakhmatov in 3rd, and it is Stamenkovic in 4th. Rock Cops, who has not had a mention. My apologies, Rock. He's barely had a mention since he came out with the pits in the fun sim racing car. But it's like that Audi advert. You don't know how well something is doing its job until it does it badly. And certainly, Rock Cop's not doing his job badly at all. 5th position. He's kept his head right under that radar. and he's got Nico Feldman just behind him. I thought he'd just been overtaken there, but that is a back marker. They've got Remy Loesch, of course, taking over for Max Leonard, who is... Oh, that's the Ballas Esports car that he's got behind him. So Pancic just down the road in 9th, and Bjorn Dale, despite serving that penalty, still inside the top 10. Does have a gaggle of cars and out of position. Oh no, it's Besenko in position. Still got Tsolde and Schaefer closing. Chowdhury still fending off Yevgeny Nietman in the closing stages, of course. Matt Redfern, he's got Jason Pooley closing in on him, with Dennis Suarez for the Tyre Sim Racing team. This is going to make it a grandstand finish for 16th position as well. And of course Ole Pitzik, who I did mention for the Team Ballas car, yep, still applying pressure there. Ladke still going quicker, 1 minute 42.3, so 1.2 seconds he lost with that incident over the curbs in that first chicane. He has found a bit of time back though. Delia just needs to keep doing exactly what he's doing, and the win is there for the taking. The prize, of course, will be 10th place in race number 2. It is the top 10 that are reversed for our race number 2. Race number 2, other than that, does follow exactly the same format. So we've got all the same pit stop stipulations. Haha, I didn't think I was going to get that one actually. But yeah, all the same pit stop stipulations during the 1 hour race, the 1-10-minute pit window, and those mandatory requirements that do need fulfilled. And all of it bringing points towards those guaranteed 5 spots in the VCO Sim Grid Final. The final itself takes place in November and December. It's a 3-round multi-class endurance race, GT3 and GT4 cars. As you see, Goodman and Conway battle out for 26th position. Let's jump back onto that. For some reason it went away. And it's done it again. Bear with me 2 seconds. Over a sensitive mouse. There we go. Yeah, so the finals, my apologies. Top 3 in this competition will get GT3 cars in the final. The 4th and 5th will get a GT4 car in the final. And 6th, 7th and 8th will get themselves a GT4 car in a playoff in October. The top 3 teams from the playoff in October will get themselves a GT4 car in the final. So yeah, definitely still all to play for. We're only 3 races out of the allotted 14. We've been, of course, to Spa, Bathurst, Kyalami, Silverstone, Valencia and the Nürburgring. We'll get more into that. Oh wow, how did that happen? I didn't get notification. My apologies, Delia has crossed the line. I was too busy going over the competition ending, and there we go, it's Delia that's crossed the line and taken the win, with Ladke in 2nd for Thomas Eng. The championship leaders at VDS Junior getting themselves 3rd. Stamenkovic for SRE Rocket Simsport finishing in 4th. Rock Cops is going to take the checkered flag for 5th place. Nico Feldman for Fast Forward Racing. Fast forwarded to the line, getting a bit of slipstream from a fellow Audi there. Remy Loesch on a drive-through for Track Limits right at the death. No one in the top 23 though. But the car's coming across the line thick and fast. But fascinating strategy. Kane, we've seen a great taster that was to come in race number 2. But yeah, what a race 1. And Delia with ITJ setups taking the top spot.
Yeah, taking the top spot by the largest margin they've seen for the whole race there. So definitely a superb showing there from that lead McLaren pack. The rest of the guys come around for their final go over the finish line there. But yeah, super race there from start to finish. And we'll see 15 minutes before we get to see it all again, John. As you said, with that reverse grid top 10 and somebody ruining what could have been his Semco there without that driver change. Goes from 11th position, was looking at signs of pressuring Dale in front to gain 10th, which would have seen him on the front row for the second go around, but does drop all the way back to 20th position after that 122nd penalty for not clearing pit mandatory requirements. So hopefully we'll see some driver action in their garage for the second race coming up.
Yeah, you hate to see that. Yeah, drivers unable to do the swap there, so you have to say 130 seconds of penalties to carry into the second race. That'll see them, of course, drop down. We have got race 2, which will be upon us very soon. We'll throw some highlights on and have a quick look down. Pit will be updated for race 2 this week. It wasn't last time. It should be. That is the plan. I think there was some issues with it last week, but we should, I believe, have it back up and running for round number 2. Fingers crossed. Technology, always great fun. Always great fun. Congratulations once again to the podium. Great battle up the top. In fact, congratulations to the top 4. Very close up at the top, and yeah, separated by minor penalties. One slight mistake there. Will Hladky and Ritchie managed to make amends in race number 2. I'm just going to quickly reset this. Oh yeah, sorry, we talked about the final. Yeah, quick word about the format. It's an interesting format, Kane. The top 10 with the reverse order. In the 1 hour race with just that short 10-minute pit window, it really does put real focus on almost micromanaging the strategy to make sure it works for your team. But also, it is a short race, so making sure you maximise your lap times when you are actually out on track.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it does come down to traffic throughout the race there, and some of these teams definitely adjusting their strategy for those pits based on what could be out there on track after the pit stop. But yeah, as we seen last time around, a 5-second penalty from first position there is not going to help at all when those pit stops start rolling around. So definitely a good start needed. Need to get out of the way of any trouble there. And yeah, this top 10 right through to 29th position there is going to be red hot as these guys look for a good 4th race result coming up very, very shortly. Very, very quickly, John. I'm going to go and get a quick refreshment, so we'll load the server all back up and get back into this 15-minute practice before race 2. So I'll leave you for a couple of minutes. I'll be back.
Yeah, I was just going to say I'll pop the highlights on, but yeah, grab yourself. It is 4 o'clock on godly times in the morning for poor Kane. But yeah, grab yourself a drink and we shall see you back for race number 2. We'll get some highlights on the screen for the moment as well. Thomas Eng, of course, leading the championship on the way in to the race with Rocket Simsport and Team Ballas finishing off the podium in race number 1 there. They're going to be leading it at the start of race number 2. And they're going to be starting race number 2 in 9th position. Big Brain, 5th in the championship, finishing outside the top 15 in that one, so they're going to see their position change as well. PLR, as we saw in that phenomenal battle right through the race, but unfortunately 9th place in the championship, looking precarious given their finishing position there. VDES Racing, 5th in race 1, round 1 race 1, 4th round 1 race 2, and they've got themselves a 4th this evening in round 2 race 1. Could they really be the dark horse of the group? Only 22 points at the start of this evening behind the championship leaders. We do have another 1 hour race to come. That was a good result for me tonight indeed, Alan. Some nice camera time. Love the livery as well. I'm going to leave the the highlights running for a few moments. I'm going to take a very quick pit stop myself and we'll be back with race number 2 very shortly. So enjoy, and I'll see you in a moment. And we're back. Yeah, it's the highlights run. Confirmation as well, excellent that we have Pitbull Live for round number 2. Remember, it is Formula Racing League Super Sprint to the Grand Finals. One of a plethora of events that FRL is hosting on ECC on both PlayStation 5 and PC, of course. Best way to keep up to date with everything, give them a follow There is the link for Discord. There's the link for their host page on SimGrid as well. All their events organised through there. Everything that they do, of course, they've got 4 channels now on Twitch to cater for all your sim racing needs, and of course everything uploaded to YouTube in the highest possible quality to make sure you can enjoy back the races at your leisure. So give the YouTube channel a follow as well. That free subscribe goes a long way to helping channels like this build and grow towards the future. And of course it's free, which is always the best kind of bonuses. So yeah, keep up to date with everything that is going on across all of their channels and platforms. And if you like the racing that you see on screen, and let's face it, why wouldn't you? And get yourself involved as well. PlayStation 5 and PC on ACC, and a whole lot of F1 leagues as well. So your F1 needs catered for as well. We'll have came back very, very shortly. I think the drivers should be in the server for race number 2, so we'll jump back in and get some live shots of the drivers out on track. Of course, round number 2, 2 races per round. We've had 2 at Spa already. We've got Bathurst next time out. Make sure you get tuned in for that one based on what we've seen tonight. It's going to be a good one. We've got then Kyalami, one of my all-time favourite tracks. Absolutely love racing there. Turn 1 invites you in 4 wide. Definitely no more than 2 wide on the way out, and even that might be ever so slightly pushing it. But a great fun track to race on nonetheless. There is what we're looking for. Of course, Silverstone, Valencia, and finishing things off with the Nürburgring. Another absolute worldie of a track. Cannot wait to get this calendar underway. Valencia, of course, one of the newest additions to ACC. Very much a MotoGP track. With the drivers in the GT3 cars finding their way around there very quickly. The GT4's not too shabby around there either. Definitely more than capable of giving the GT3s a bit of a run for their money. There we go. So yeah, the drivers are back out. Much changed conditions then from race number 1. See, very, very sunny indeed. No clouds in the sky. Track temperature 40 degrees. 40-degree track temperature. That is toasty, toasty, toasty warm. I'm sure the drivers have never been more grateful that the stints are not going to be any longer than 40 minutes. Of course, with a 10-minute pit window, that is a bit warm, just a bit. It is, yeah, you're right, it's comparatively warm, especially if you live in someplace like Florida. That's probably just 9 o'clock in the morning for you, Doc. But yes, certainly Bologna in Italy doing its bit for track temperature there at 40 degrees. That is incredible. So yeah, the tyres definitely going to come into play in this one. Brake ducts open, might lose a bit of aerodynamics, but certainly keeping the tyres and the brakes cool might not be too bad an idea for heading down through Tosa, Piratelli, and of course Acqua Minerale as well. That is going to be fun, getting the car rotated down through there. 3 minutes left of practice, and then it is race number 2 again. Another 1 hour edition, another 1 hour outing with exactly the same format as before, except of course no qualifying. There is the finishing order from race number 1 with the top 10 reversed. So first place will start in 10th, the second will start in 9th. So on and so forth. Last week it didn't work out too well at all. for the team that won race number 1. Of course, it was the Italian job. First in race number 1, found themselves 14th in race number 2. James quickly throwing himself a quick disclaimer there, providing he has done the reverse grid correctly. Fingers, toes, eyes, everything crossed. Maybe car 41 is in pole. Now that would be what some could consider a happy accident. And who is it that just happened to Derek Brough and James Williams drive? That would be a happy accident, wouldn't it indeed? Although certainly no complaints from me. Always love to see a Ferrari on the front of the grid. Although I have to be honest, I'm slightly missing the pink pig livery this week. Can't remember if it was in the last race, but it was definitely in a race I was commentating on recently. So yeah, bring back the pink pig. Say I and all the viewers, I'm sure. There is Alex Zakdal, so of course dropping down the order. Jeffrey Ritchie, Derek is being demoted. Yeah, definitely get the pink pig back. It's a phenomenal livery. We've got 55 seconds left, not long before we get started. And yeah, another 1 hour of that racing. What do we think then? Any predictions in the chat? I mean, do we think we're going to see back-to-back winners over the season? I mean, we've seen teams make it onto the podium. Of course, Rocket Simsport last week 2nd and 3rd off the podium this week. Thomas Eng with a 3rd and a 1st. So starting in 7th. Last week made it up to 1st place. They're starting 6th. They're starting 8th this week. 9th this week. Goodness me. 9th this week. So can they get themselves back up to the top spot? With the strength of field, is it possible for anyone to win both races in the same round? I am going to say no.
I am going to join back here on the end of a question I didn't hear. So,
yeah,
good evening again. Hello, John.
Hello. All refreshed at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, sorry, 5 o'clock in the morning. It's almost
6 o'clock daylight. Even.
Is it 6 o'clock?
Thumbs up.
Oh, part-timer.
Thumbs up. Wasting the day, not up already.
Indeed, yeah. I was just throwing a quick question out there, Ken. Do we think we will see anyone win both races in the same round? 2 trips to the podium, of course, already done, but 2 wins in the same round. Anything's possible in motors and racing, but is that possible?
Yeah, definitely possible. Like you said, anything possible in racing here. Definitely very difficult with that strength of the field right through the pack there. Definitely a tough ask going from anywhere further from the front 2 or 3 rows all the way to the front. Yeah, definitely a tough ask, but like we said, anything possible, and there were definitely plenty of teams looking to get that job done and get that double win. That'll bring a huge amount of points for the team here. We said still only the 2nd round, John, so plenty of action still to come here. The super sprint to the grand finals, and just over a minute left here to the start of the 2nd race. So the guys head off on their formation lap soon. Yeah, we'll see if any of these teams can bring that first double win for a round home this evening.
Indeed, yeah. It's going to be fascinating to see Del Fante starting there in 10th, Ritchie in 9th place. So their battle from round 1 will commence. Yeah, and as Kane said, it's still very early in the season. 7 rounds, but 2 races per round. That's 14 in total. 3 in the bag so far. Another 11 races to go. That is a whole lot of virtual tarmac and a whole lot of virtual rubber, especially this evening. 41 degree track temperature. That is toasty warm. And that is last week's highlights from Spa. There is the toasty warm track. Good evening, Daddy Cood. My apologies. Good morning from Australia, he says. How we all doing? Absolutely fantastic. Although you might be doing better than some Australians, because you can at least turn me down and ignore me if you want. Some other poor Aussies do kind of have to mandatorily listen to me rant and rave and get excited down the microphone, Kane.
Sorry, missed all that, John. Wasn't listening. I do get brief moments to take off, John. In between races is one of them.
I didn't even see that one coming, which made it even funnier. And I really should have. I do need to give you more credit for first thing in the morning. You definitely know how to wake up. Plenty of coffee. He's got that morning routine dialed right in.
Just to add, the screaming Scotsman in the ear definitely does its wonders to keep you awake, John. Anybody out there needs a good wake up? Clip one of John's laughs. That'll get you up in the morning.
Oh, class. Thank you very much. I just snorted down the microphone. My apologies. Drinking coffee and watching you legends. What's better? Yeah, feet up. Sounds good to me. First thing in the morning. This is how to start your day. Top end, absolute top end sim racing. Again, the road to the VCO Sim Grid Grand Finals. 5 automatic places in the final up for grabs. 3 in a GT3 car, 2 in a GT4 car, and of course 6th, 7th and 8th in the championship, getting themselves into a GT4 playoff, which will take place in October. Top 3 teams from the playoff get a GT4 car in the final, and the competition is strong. Of course, 11, my apologies, there is 10 organisations plus the LFM 12-week competition that's going on. So yeah, places not the easiest to come by in the final, and if the pace that's going on through these entry competitions is anything to go by, Kane, the final is going to be absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely something to check on the calendar, and make sure to tune in to all of those races. We will see all of the fastest drivers from these series taking it out on track. So the one very quick driver shooting through the field there, who was that? Never mind me. Squirrel. Take my own squirrel moment there. What we will see heading into the final corner here, John, is Del Fonte and Richie resume that battle once again down in 9th and 10th after the position swap around after the reverse grid. But drivers just heading up the main straight now, looking for that green light to get action underway.
Yes, indeed, that's them out of Ravat. Said Daddy Crude needs to head to work. Have a good day, mate. Hope you have an absolute blinder. We are about to have an absolute blinder here. Thomas Nopek in the Lamborghini is going to be very hotly chased into turn number 1. There is the red lights. Here come the green lights. 60 minutes separating the drivers from the points they need to progress to the finals. And there it is, green lights, it's foot down, it's flat out, and it is away we go as we see Leonard and Illinger going side by side. They're getting very close indeed. Jeffrey Ritchie and Delfanti have obviously gone side by side. It's Stamkovic who's starting this race with a Gornikov just ahead. The Porsche of Zupanchik finds his way off into the gravel, and he is going to tumble down the order. That is behind the RNLR car. as well. So Pollock and Rubia looking likely to take a position there as well. So Banchik tumbling down the order, a bit more bunched up this time through the first corner. Bit of a slow going there, but Rock Cops finding himself under serious pressure, and already Delfante has made his way past the SRE Esports car. Stamenkovic has been overtaken. He's fending off another position there. The 23 car of Cops up the inside has a look. Oh, there's a big move then. Beautiful move by Jeffrey Ritchie there to take a couple of positions. That's exactly what he needed. He saw his main championship rival get that overtake done. As we can see, it's already done there through the second chicane. Then Ritchie watching this battle unfold just ahead. It's Igornikov and Stamenkovic. I was about to say Delfante there, but it's not. He's already gone and dusted. As you can see up the inside, just positions the car beautifully. The other two McLarens, no grip whatsoever through that corner, and that is in the end a very easy move. And in fact, Stamenkovic finding himself under instant pressure in the background as well, and I think he's dropped another position. No, he's not, sorry. He is still ahead of Tim Schaefer. Then he got back ahead of Tim Schaefer. At the end of lap number 1 is Thomas Nopek still leading the way with Judzetsky in second position. Is Dominic Illinger in third, with Max Leonard in fourth. Gornikov currently in fifth position. And he's just held on to it there. It was very careful with words, because Delfante was having a good old look into the first chicane. And talking about having a good old look into the chicane, and Gornikov goes up the inside. No, he does not. Max Leonard fends him off at the minute. Gornikov biding his time for the moment. How long? Oh, it won't be long, will it? As he goes up the inside of Death Zone Bend, not quite close enough to make that stick, and he's potentially just costing himself time to Delfante here. And on the corner exit, that's exactly what we see play out, although no room for Delfante. The car by Gornikov again, beautifully positioned. We've seen him do a lot of defending in race number 1. Race number 2, he's gone straight back to that same formula. Nopek, Judzetsky and Illinger. In fact, Illinger really piling the pressure on to get himself up into what would be the lead of the race. Nopek still leading. He's got track position at the minute, but we've seen Judzetsky. He is very quick and knows how to make an overtake. Can he get it done and get himself a bit of a breakaway? As we can see him heading down the hill towards Ravazza. He wants that inside line on the way into Ravazza, and he's going to have it by hook or by crook. He's on the inside, steps the back end of the car out, gets it up the inside. He's rotated as well. Not only is he held on to that, and Judzetsky, Nopek maybe being a bit overly generous with the space he's left. He's lost momentum. Illinger finds himself up into second position, I can't keep track myself, because Nopek now in third, Leonard in fourth. It's Igornikov in fifth, and Delfante in sixth position, with Jeffrey Ritchie and Delfante up the inside, round the outside, and he's got it done. On the contact between the top two, Illinger and Nopek have made contact into the first chicane. I was just about to pass the cane and talk about how close the opening lap had been. Nice to see no incidents, but then we see second and third having themselves having themselves a bit of a coming together. Oh, he's right around the outside, got a good run there. He is in front going into the corner. The McLaren, so the Audi lost it and he made contact with the Lambo, so it was Nopek down to third, one-time race leader. So big position there. Dominic Illinger, and he's just made big contact there with Hill. Sorry, that's Hill, the Eclipse racing car, and they're all unsettled there as well. Hill coming under pressure, so too is Benjamin Eck in the FRL Lamborghini. Is all suddenly kicked off there as Dominic Illinger finds himself down 22nd position and under serious threat from Hill. In fact, Benjamin Eck, I think, has maybe made up a position there while all that was going on. And let's just check up and make sure there hasn't been any more changes up at the front. Delfante, after getting that overtake done, of course, that was the other big news. Delfante making his way through. He's up to third place and got Max Leonard firmly in his sights, but so too does Jeffrey Ritchie, got the top 5 firmly in his sight as well. Rock Cops in 6th, Stamenkovic now in 7th position, with Schaefer in 8th, Pollock in 9th place, and Zupanchik in 10th position, being hunted down by Rubia. And Delfante is going for a look up the inside. He wants 2nd position. Is he going to get it? They've made contact, and there's and it's Delfante, sorry, that was on the outside line there. They've made contact. Delfante on the gravel, and in the background, is that Rokhov's making up ground? He is ahead of Gornikov. So there's more changes up at the top then. We'll get you in eventually, Kane, I promise. We've got Rubia trying to get past Zupancic. We've got Gornikov and Stamenkovic, who, while they're battling, Schaefer setting quicker laps, and Rock Cops has got himself ahead of both of them. He's now defending from Gornikov. Jeffrey Ritchie in 4th place. Delfante, looking a bit wild there. So too Max Leonard. And all the while, Yehor Yudzetsky into Aqua Minerale, leading the way by 2.6 seconds. The opening 3 laps, Kane, have left off exactly where the last race finished. Incredible scenes, and another unbelievably close opening lap, and more overtakes on the horizon sooner rather than later by the look of it.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Outstanding start from everyone involved there. A little bit of incidents there. I'm just currently looking at Dominic Illinger, currently in 22nd position, the biggest loser out of that battle there with...
he's run deep. I'm going to have to cut you off there because he's run deep. That's Delfante. No, it's not. It was Ritchie. Jeffrey Ritchie then, sorry, on the way down into Ravazza. Ritchie, he was fine through the curves. Oh no, sorry, is it Delfante? Now let's have a look. So one of the beige, orangey looking McLarens heading down into the hill. Let's see, into Ravazza. Oh, big send by Ritchie, and he couldn't control it on the exit. He ended up out on the gravel, and that's where he's came under pressure. So another big change there. Jeffrey Ritchie looking for the move. Sorry, Kane. Jumped all over you once again there, but Ritchie going for it, and he's put himself under pressure from a Gornikov and Kopp. So yeah, again, the action thick and fast from start to finish in both races, and yeah, we're on it straight away again.
Yeah, see, Ritchie just made a similar mistake to teammate Matthias Ladke in the second half of the last race there. A little bit deep into the first chicane, a little bit later on the brakes, and yeah, gets it in the gravel there. Always going to lose time there, but Delfante not losing time at all. Up from 10th position there into 2nd at the moment, so yeah, definitely doing a fantastic job out there at the moment.
Yeah, it really is, and Yudzetsky, yeah, getting a good gap up at the front there, 2 seconds ahead of Delfante. He's almost 2 seconds ahead of Leonard. Leonard will be fully aware that Ritchie wants that position. He's already made a very solid attempt, just couldn't quite get it done on the brakes. He'll be back there no time at all. Silva and Rubia and Zupancic, sorry, in 10th place. Still Pollock in 9th, chasing down Schaefer still. And still, of course, we've got the battles coming thick and fast outside of the top 15. Joe Tomlin in the Big Brain Racing car. They really need the result here again. They in the top 10 in the overall championship. Of course, plenty more racing to come, but another good solid top 10 finish in this race would certainly see their points tally looking very rosy at the end of this round. Trizaldi trying to get one done on Robinson. Of course, Alan Brown's car. Good finish for them in race number 1. They're looking to back it up in race number 2, although Trizoldi for the PLR Esports team has definitely got designs on that position. So too, a Gornikov really looking for a move there, couldn't quite get it done. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, couldn't quite get it done there. Sorry, they did get closer in the proximity, but it was yeah, Max Leonard as well. Delfante now running the best he can, trying to catch up with Yudzetsky. That gap is closing up at the front, and let's see what happened into the first chicane if Ritchie can keep it planted this time. Again, that seems to be the optimal line for defending. Keep the middle ground, send the driver around the outside. A little bit of contact through the chicane that separated them a little bit and brought Gornikov right back into the hunt. And it looked like he was thinking about a move around the outside. Jeffrey Ritchie just shaking off any attempts he's got at getting any slipstream from him. And into the second chicane, that is where they stay. Rock Cops still closing in to Gornikov. Just avoiding contact there, a bit too hot into the corner, almost collecting himself some free McLaren memorabilia from the back of Richie's car there. Did manage to avoid that contact across the start finish line. Once again, it's Richie looking very quick, goes for a switchback on the way in. Oh, they've made contact on the way through. Max Laney, he's managed to hold on to the back of the car, but he's not going to hold on to either of those positions as the Gornikov and Rock Cops. Is going to be no slouch here either. He's got the pace, he's going to have a look up the inside, surely. No, he backs out of it. He did think about a move there, he had the pace certainly, but decided against. So more moves up at the front then again, into turn number 1. Richie goes for outside, lifts ever so slightly, gets to move up the inside. He's on that inside curve in. Did leave it looked like as much room as possible. Again, we get a quick look and see what the stewards have got to say for it. With the Lamborghini, Max Leonard was outgunned completely by a Gornikov as well, who was unhindered by that incident. Stamenkovic in the background, pulling some good time to close back in once again. But more changes up on the podium, Kane, and with Leonard, Kops and Stamenkovic still very much in the hunt. That trend is going to continue for the rest of the race by the look of it. And yeah, have you been keeping an eye on anything in particular? Oh, race lead just changed hands. John.
Anything and everything, as usual, backwards and forwards, all over the place, trying to find the best action for everybody there. 22nd position at the moment, under threat for Jimmy Lynn there. There's only 5 cars in the mix at the moment. Lewis Robertson's got a bumper full of Vermeer in that McLaren there. And was just on board with that battle. Maynard lucking out there. Jeffrey Ritchie finally getting that McLaren on the inside of the first chicane there, and that's exactly where that car needs to be to make that position. Never quite get it done on the outside. Seen him try several times, and could be a blue flag already up in front. Somebody just getting out of the way of that battle with Ritchie and Ogornikov for 3rd and 4th there. But yeah, Ritchie now looking, as I've been talking, John, we've had change in leader as well. So Del Fonte, and the 30-second replay is not going to be enough to grab it.
I got it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I did manage to grab that. Yeah, just as you started talking, threw it on. The replay on, but yeah, Rock Cops, just as I threw the replay on, he threw the car right into the kitty litter, and I've seen him drop down to 10th position. He was right in the hunt for 4th there with that battle ahead. But yeah, Del Fonte, he's taking the lead, he's taking the fastest lap, he's got a 1 second gap. We've got Ellinger. Yellow flag there for him. I think he was somehow involved with Neil Woodward. Oh, Neil really struggling with a Ferrari at the minute. It's not the opening laps that you need. Our long racing and our really can fly by. Can Schaefer fly by? They're on the start finish date, and in fact in the background Pollock and Rubia takes the inside line. The Lamborghini's going to have and Rubia's got the outside line. It's still Pollock fending him off. In the background, Zupanchik closing in. Rock Cops, we know he's got pace to keep up with these drivers just ahead of him, given the positions that he's just dropped down from. Benjamin Eck also in the hunt for that position with Jimmy Lynn that Kane had mentioned. Pazenko, Vermeer and Robinson are having a battle for 13th place. Zupanchik, Kops and Rubia, the drivers that we've got on screen at the minute. And of course, Tim Schaefer just ahead. He really is looking for this position over Stamenkovic as they head down into Aqua Minerale once again. McLaren on McLaren action, pair of Lamborghinis battling behind with still 4 McLaren's leading the way, but into Aqua Minerale, the RNL roar car is roaring under the guidance of Tim Schaefer. They come into the final chicane, 0.2 of a second separating them. Del Fonte now 2.2 seconds ahead of Judzensky. Ritchie looking for a 3.2 second deficit overturn to get himself caught up to Yuzetski, but Delfante certainly showing the rest of the field a very clean pair of heels at the moment. And I think interestingly as well, Kane, the track temperature is up to 42 degrees. That is warm for racing tyres to be dealing with, under the type of pressures that the drivers out here are going to be putting them under.
Yeah, absolutely. 42 degrees out on track. Definitely warm temperature on the tyres. And these drivers setting the track on fire as well, as I just caught the back of Lewis Robinson and Joe Tomlin coming together in the latter part of the lap. Tomlin down into 16th position, Robinson in 15th. So both of those guys losing out there. Pasemko will be looking for a better race this go around. He's currently in 14th position, looking for a driver handover this go around. But a little bit of damage on that Ferrari, so seeing better days. Good following pack there, a couple of cars up in front. Evans just getting out of the way there, so best race for Jack so far, lap down already. But yeah, definitely heating up out there. 43 minutes left of the race. Maybe another 8-9 minutes or so as Tomlin tries to get past Evans as well, and does so just in time. Woodward very quick in behind there, had to jump on the brakes there a little bit. Nearly unsettled that Ferrari in the background, but yeah, everybody so far adjusting tyre pressures possibly, as you said, 42 degrees on track, so maybe just a little bit of that coming into play, but definitely not hindering Delfante at all. 3.8 seconds out to the goods last look. So yeah, that McLaren definitely on track, John, to answer your pre-race question of the two first places in a round.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking to put that argument to bed. I said no, and yeah, less than a race later. Looks like it's going to be, or a race later in fact, it's going to be achieved. Schaefer still trying to achieve 6. We've got Chris Gedman in the chat. And he's asking if Ian Toms is getting on. He, as you saw, he had a bit of an off-track moment there. He was given David Hill a solid run for his money there in 21st position, but a slight off-track through Ravazza. And that's him separated ever so slightly once again. No separation between Schaefer and Stamenkovic, and the gap between Ritchie and Yuzetski is dropping as quickly as the gap between Delfante and Yuzetski is increasing. So it really does beg the question. Oh, and Tim Schaefer there, massive off-track excursion. That's going to see Pollock and Rubia close in behind him. Left on the screen. Rob Cobb, sorry, is where I was looking. Yeah, 10th place. He has gathered himself after that mistake. Was battling for top 5 honours. He's dropped down ever so slightly, but he has steadied the ship. So Panchik 2.9 seconds down the road. Benjamin Eck still closing in on Jimmy Lynn. I'll be in the car in about 10 minutes, says Chris Gedman. That's on the 30-minute mark. Yeah, half and half. Yeah, Chris, how much is the tyre? The track temperature, is that a surprise to you guys? Has that been present in the practice servers, or because 42 degrees? That is toasty warm. Toasty warm. Do a quick driver interview while we've got him in the chat. Why not? Mike Pasemko looking to interview Vermeer for that 13th position at the minute. Into the second chicane, not quite able to get it close enough this time around. Yuzetski still fighting a losing battle versus Delfante, but he's just, he's found a couple of tenths on Jeffrey Ritchie at the minute. 1 minute 41.002 is Yuzetski's fastest lap at the moment, unsurprisingly. Delfante and Ritchie both in the 1 minute 40s already. Unsurprisingly, the two The only 2 cars that have done so. 11 degrees up, yes indeed, yeah, 11 degrees up. It is a whole lot of temperature. I mean, yeah, 41 degrees. Benjamin Eck is getting close to Tomek Nopek again. The FRL Lambo is looking quick, and it does look like Nopek is carrying a bit of damage, obviously from that early contact. Started the race in the lead. Where's it looking for there? Pazemko. Sorry, yeah, absolutely trying to keep a track of every overtake that I can here, Kane. I'm fighting a losing battle. Is there anything in particular that you're watching as I scramble through the field to figure out which battle is actually the closest somehow?
No, you just touched on it. Pazemko there, been doing, having a tough job of getting around Roy Vermeer just up in front. Vermeer holding off and doing just enough in the McLaren up ahead. Definitely got some pace there in that YSS McLaren in 13th position at the moment, but yeah, just start to settle into the race here. 38 minutes still remain, so 22 minutes gone. These guys just settling in before that pit stop, finding a bit of a rhythm here and see where they'll pop back out at the end, but definitely everybody doing just enough of a job to stay in it at the moment.
Yeah, Jeffrey Ritchie, everyone might be in a rhythm. He is definitely in his own rhythm at the minute. After me saying he's just lost 210 to Zetsky, he finds 7. So it's not too bad. If you're going to lose 2 tenths one sector and gain 7 tenths the next sector, as a race driver, you're going to be happy to do that for a few sectors. And out of the last corner, I think this gap is going to be a lot less than 1.1 as they cross the start-finish line. So Delfante looking to reach and breach the 5-second mark, 6.2 seconds ahead. He now is. So again, Delfante gaining time on Judzetsky as much as Judzetsky is losing time to Ritchie. And Judzetsky gets it. Oh, and that first chicane. Kane. Thomas Eng sim racing. I mean, we talk about occasionally in sim racing, you'll find one corner that starts catching out drivers, just driver after that, just completely random, different cars or maybe the same car. But Jeffrey Ritchie and the Thomas Eng sim racing team, that first chicane, they really don't enjoy that.
Yeah, neither driver having the best of luck there each go around at that first chicane. Seeing there again, Jeffrey Ritchie just getting it a little bit wrong, and such a long straight there too, from the back end over at Bravazzo all the way down the main straight past the pits there. Definitely tricky to get that braking point on the money every single go around. So yeah, Ritchie just coming under a little bit of trouble again there, but as we said, driver up in front, John, just coming into trouble. And I didn't even mention it, it's a commentator's curse through thought only, but I was just about to mention how lucky or how well some of the drivers have done out there to avoid some of those penalties, but we see them rolling through at the moment. That's David Hill with a 30-second penalty, Hellerman in 17th, Beer 5-second penalty, and second place with a 5-second penalty there as well. So whilst Jeffrey Ritchie gets it wrong at one of the corners, second place out in front has got it wrong at a few of the corners. Got a 5-second penalty there, so that's going to come into play in that pit stop. There's a couple of positions like we saw last race.
Yeah, I was just going to say, almost identical. It was second place going into first that got that 5-second penalty. And it was Stamenkovic who came out after the penalty, dropped down a couple of positions, currently running in 6th, so it's safe to say, certainly here at Imola, his teammate was putting in quicker laps, so out for the second stint. We'll see how much he can overturn. Obviously they'll be hoping for a penalty-free outing of Salva and Rubia there. A bit of lateral motion on the Lamborghini for the Tire Sim Racing eSports driver. Coming under all kinds of pressure from Rock Cops, who we saw of course drop down the order. after sticking all four wheels on the kitty litter, dropped 6 positions, but is closing in on the drivers ahead. Schaefer as well had a bit of an off-track excursion as he was putting the pressure on Stamenkovic. He's now looking to reapply that pressure as the pit window opens, and we will see anyone instantly come in. In fact, we will see Jeffrey Ritchie in second position, and not so much of a fight there from Uzeski. A beautiful move from Ritchie. I think Uzeski knew he was coming through there. He's moving a bit quicker than him there. Oh, we went in the final chicane. In fact, he almost managed to get the move there. The exit the chicane. That's a good exit by them both as well. Maybe a slight bit of dirty air from the Lamborghini ahead. Being hard push to make that as an angle. Yeah, the Lamborghini gets right out of the way, and the McLaren of Ritchie full send up the inside. And on the exit to Ravadza, it's Thomas Eng back up into second position. So Delphante may be looking for back-to-back wins. Ritchie could certainly look to bring home back-to-back podiums, which again will keep them firmly atop the table going into the 2 races of round number 3. Dominic Illinger, who is down the order in 22nd at the minute, up against David Hill. Hill carrying a bit of damage and a 30-second penalty, and that's him coming into pit. Stamenkovic in early, Kane, given the pace difference between the two teammates. Not really a massive surprise, Kane, to see Stamenkovic into the pits as early as possible, and Martin Klaassen back out on track.
Yeah, Klaassen running the majority of last race around. Out did start the race, the first go around. Gets the second half of the race to prove his worth in the team. Right now was the first driver to come into the pits from 10th position, I believe. So we'll see where Klaassen can get himself to. Where he comes out on track here, just in front of the leader, might lose a little bit of time there, getting those tyres up to pressure, but a very good position out on track for Martin at the moment. Nothing in front so far. Going to have to wait till a few more of those pit stops to start unfolding to see exactly where he lies out in the pack. But for the meantime, clear track in front, and that is what you want to start your stint there, as we see a 15-second penalty, par 41. So that's the FRL. That is Derek Groff and James Williams, isn't it, John? So 15 seconds applied to their next pit stop, coming up in the next 6 minutes.
He's sharing that car with Ian Thompson, I'm sure, and James Williams is in with Neil Woodward. So yeah, there is a competition. Yeah, you're right. There is a competition which Williams and Brough do race together. But in this one, it's Woodward and Williams, Brough and Thompson. Thank you, FRL, for having millions and millions of drivers that all take place. All take part. Makes it all the better. Although, you did sound overly caught. I'm going to double check that actually.
Yeah. No, double check it, John. It's 10 to 7 in the morning. I'm well and truly awake. I'm 100%, yeah. Brough and James Williams sharing a car.
And Thompson and Gedman, yeah. But there is another competition that they're racing, and that is the cars that they're in. They do it just to confuse us, Ken. That's exactly why they do it, to keep the commentators on their toes, just to make sure that we're paying attention. Definitely getting his money. Oh, Delphante's come into the pits. So Delphante into the pits. Jeffrey Ritchie assumes the mantle of race leader with Uzeski within a second. The Gornikov is going to go past as well. So we'll see how close can Martin Klaassen get. Already back up to 17th position. Zolde and Schaefer coming into the pits. He'll hand over to Cesar. There is Delphante, as we can see, tumbling down the order. Uzeski losing a bit of time through sector 1 then to Ritchie. That's the pit window almost half done, only 10 minutes to come in and get the pit stops done. Cops already up to 6th position with the pit stops ironing themselves out. Carlo Delia, that is not, there we go, there's Helicam there. He comes out of the pits. Where is Martin Klassen? Coming down into Ravazza, so still got a fairly healthy gap to overturn. And he's got a hill just quickly getting himself out of the way. So Delfante, this is him on the run to the end. He's going to get ahead of Cesar. Or is he going to? Yes, he should. Is he going to still be ahead of Cesar? Oh no, Cesar is the RNL Roarcat. Yep, there we go. He's got just back in front. Hill comes through as well. Brown back out the pits. Broth in with that 15-second penalty to serve. Yudzetsky and Gornikov have come in the pits. Jeffrey Ritchie has decided to stay out. Max Leonard comes in to the pits as well. It's all happening now, Kane, just over the halfway mark in the race. And the pits are absolutely furious with action. It's still Delia on track leader, Gornikov and Yudzetsky looking to steal a wee position here if they can.
Yeah, definitely. Just been keeping an eye on Martin Klassen there. Still clear track in front at the moment after his early pit stop as well. But yeah, Delia out in front after that first pit stop. Oh, sorry, corrected after all the pit stops. But yeah, 5 cars in the pits from the leading 10 at the moment. They just start falling down the field, so it's definitely going to start coming into play as Delia comes past those pits at the moment. So those positions are going to be gained. Who's coming out? Rakhmatov's coming out. Is that in front there too, John? Yeah, definitely all happening right now.
Yeah, it really is. There is Delia already through. Oh, Derek Broth. Stop go 30-second for speeding in the pit lane there. So we'll catch up with that. But yeah, Gornikov is handed over to Timur Rakhmatov. So he is back out. Remy Loesch is back out. We'll let the positions settle down. Martin Klassen is closing in on the lead group then. Oh, he really is keen. They're just too keen into that first chicane in the McLaren, Kane. I don't know yet if it's just the McLaren thing or if it's the drivers pushing, but that does seem like it's becoming a fairly regular occurrence now, seeing a McLaren make a bit of a pig's ear at that first chicane and ended up in the kitty litter.
Yeah, like we said a few times before, it's not just the one driver there also, so yeah, possibly a little, just as I said, so hard to get that right every single go around, but they're definitely proven a little bit more difficult than they would have hoped out there today.
Yeah, it really is. Fun times for the drivers. It's certainly going to make the competition and the racing more interesting come the end. Suarez looking for an overtake, as we can see. Alexander Pollock for Simply Race Esports in the pits. Matthias Ladke on his way out of the pits. Carlo Delia on his way past the pits. He is back in the lead of the race. He may even have extended that gap ever so slightly. Was 6 or 7 seconds. We'll see what that is as it comes through the timing board. Nyeatman on his way out. Benjamin Eck about to hand the car over. Rakhmatov retakes 4th position. As Delia is currently in 3rd. Ritchie in 4th. Rakhmatov will be in 5th. It's Mike Pasemko for the Absolute Motorsport team, who are the on-track leaders at the moment. Thomas Nopek as well, but those two still at the pits. Eck and Kops, as I mentioned. Kops just in the pits. Goodway just leaving the pits for the FRL Lamborghini. Woodward in as well for the FRL Ferrari, meaning James Williams is about to take the wheel there, and Thomas Nopek and Mike Pasemko are about to come into the pits because they've got 44 seconds left of the allotted pit window. So we'll see where they come out. Delia is not far behind, to be fair. He's just coming through that final chicane. David Cesar now finds himself separated. He has Yevgeny Nyeatman for Simply Race Esports separating him from Martin Klassen. The SRE Rocket Sim Sport car was entrenched in a battle with the RNLR road car before the pit stops, but it is Nyeatman for Simply Race that is getting the job done here in his stint through the final chicane. That is a solid overtake then. No peck as I thought into the pit. Pasemko
misses out, yes, John. So definitely a driver issue there. But the second half of that team not able to get the rig going, or some little problem there. But Pasemko has missed out on that pit window. So regardless of when he comes in, if he comes in, that mandatory golden one will not be cleared again for this race. So Pasemko's best chance is to probably stay out there for as long as possible, if not the whole race, and avoid the pits altogether now.
Yeah, I would say so. Bjorn Dale just exiting the pits, and big news, Mitja Milodanovic hasn't cleared his mandatory either. The Fun Sim Racing team. Now that must be a glitch surely, because he's not changed tyres potentially, because Rock Cops was behind the wheel of the car for stint 1 without a shadow of a doubt. But yeah, they've had some kind of issue because they were 10th when they came into pits. Rock Cops came into pits from 10th, no worse than 13th. They're now in 22nd. So yeah, some kind of issue there for the Fun Sim Racing team. So yeah, massive damage limitation exercise for them. Polly trying to get an overtake done for the Lockup Racing team is Dave Goodway in the FRL Lamborghini that he's got ahead of him. I'm not obsessed with Lamborghini. Ferrari, I can't even say it, never mind. But yeah, Pasemko lapping in the 1 minute 42.3s at the minute, so going to miss both requirements. Yeah, not going to change tyres, it won't not swap drivers either. We've got a yellow flag. Delia. Oh, yellow flag for Delia, and we've got a Hladky within a second. He's been tapped by the back mark, or did he lose the back of the car? I have no idea what happened there. We switched to helicam as the race leader was facing the wrong way through the first chicane and tentatively gets going. That looked like a very slow takeoff there as well. Not slow on the takeoff was Matthias Hladky, who is now within a second, Kane. So Giovanni Pipo back marker hit them. No words. Wow, incredible, Kane. We've seen high drama through all the races, but with 22 minutes left to go, the top two have been thrown right back in the blender once again. Blue flags, they can hinder, they can help. In this case, it's hindered Delia's charge for a comfortable race win and helped us in our hope for some more close racing action, because Hladky doesn't seem like he's going to be letting go anytime soon here with 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, Hladky really needs to get a hold of this first turn chicane here to make the most of that mistake there from that blue flag. Always unfortunate to see blue flags come into play, but like you said, it does make it very, very interesting. Final 21 and a half minutes here. Hladky a little bit more tentative that time around, just losing the spot here, but again, see these two McLarens, ITJ setups, and the Thomas Sim Racing team going at it once again. It's all too familiar sight over the last hour and a bit here, John, at Imola. We will see these two grandstand finish here, 20 odd minutes left. Can Rakhmatov do anything to close that gap for the final position? Picture out of sequence obviously is Pasemko, who does have that, will have a penalty after no clearance there. So timing boards showing the battle for first, it's actually for second and third, but yeah, penalties yet to be handed out. Hopefully no more penalties throughout the rest of the race for the remaining drivers.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Ooh, extra steering input there from Bjorn Dale. Oh, and that's just too much steering input, and he's had to gather that up. Chris Gedman under all kinds of pressure after serving that penalty. And it is, there we go, Bjorn Dale in the Gorilla, the racing Lamborghini, two of the best sounding cars, the Mercedes and the new Lamborghini. The new Lamborghini does sound good as well. Heavy, you can hear those brakes absolutely squealing. Note to all McLaren drivers, that's about Mercedes and a Lamborghini makes it through the first chicane. Just saying. Delia. Yes, I am the man that hides behind the microphone. Correct. But yeah, there we go. There is an FRL car just getting itself out of the way. Just under the 20 minutes to go, and just under 0.3 of a second. And there is a penalty. Alan Brown picking up a penalty there. 15 seconds for causing a collision. And it's been increased to 30 seconds. So the joint largest penalty that we've seen so far, 2 30-second penalties have been handed out. The Gorilla racing car absolutely chasing down this Lamborghini at the moment, and it is a stunning livery. Let's have a quick look at this one in the old free car. Get a good look at that Mercedes as well. Oh, he's thinking about it down into Ravazza. They've got 2 left hands before they get to the final start-finish straight. Is he going to keep his powder dry until the first chicane? Yes, he is going to look for a big boost the slipstream then along the start-finish straight. Can he close the gap? The Mercedes is absolutely no slouch in the straight line, and you can see here, even with the slipstream advantage, it isn't until much later across the end of the start-finish straight that the Lamborghini starts to make any kind of impression. Gedman, no need to go overly defensive here. The Lambo is going to get nose to tail under braking, but that is going to be it on the exit. Oh, very good exit by the Lamborghini. In fact, he really nailed that one through there, putting all the pressure on the back of that Mercedes at the minute then into the second chicane. Oh, Gedman's gone a bit deep, a bit later on the brakes. He's had to make a bit much of a correction there. The Lamborghini is going to have a good solid run at this one. Oh, or is he? Gedman's gathered that one up absolutely beautifully then. He's kept the Lamborghini just behind them. The 2 German manufacturers having themselves a ding-dong battle here in Bologna, and it's Bjorn Dale that's trying to push the buttons and get himself past Chris Gedman. Gedman with a good entry down into Acqua Minerale. Incredible driving, Kane. 19th position. This is a battle for beautiful stuff from the 2 of them.
Yeah, definitely great driving. The guys will have a rear view vision. Oh, let's stumble those words out. Let's not even try again. The leaders are catching, though. Delia and Ladke in the 2 McLarens behind there, going right at it and pushing those 2 cars right to the limit here, doing super quick laps. Ladke doing a good job. He's been doing well through turn 1 so far. Need to kind of keep an eye on where these 2 are balanced out. But yeah, definitely still on at the front of the pack as well.
Yeah, definitely. As you can see just how close visibly, let's look at just how close they are, and you can see the Lamborghini before they get to the start finish line does get a bit close again, not quite close enough. He's going to have a much more braking ability with the Evo car, but the McLaren, the Mercedes once again manages to hold his ground through the first chicane, and all the while there we can see in the background there is the race leaders chasing them both down. Beautiful over that curve for the Gorilla Racing team, the Mercedes. Ooh, dips a wheel on the gravel there, doesn't want to do that too often. Of course, these will both be keen to let the race leaders through as quickly as possible. Martin Klassen all over the back. In fact, he's got the overtake done, so let's go back and watch that one again. Out of Ravazza. Great exit there by the McLaren. And you can see just how much power that McLaren's got in a straight line. And in fact, wow, does he close in before the first corner? That is an incredible run under the slipstream. No, it doesn't look like... Is it turn 1? That is a big move from turn 1. Okay, right over the inside curb. A bit of contact there through the chicane, and that Kane potentially another one that the stewards are going to have a little look at there.
Yeah, more than potentially. I think we can definitely see something coming for Martin there again, who got a little bit impatient at times too in that first race, picking up a 5-second, dropped them all the way back down the field for that one as well. Was making big moves, but that car coming into the pits in 10th position had moved up into 7th for that move on the Lamborghini in front. So yeah, we'll see what the stewards say, but yeah, I'm not very optimistic there for Martin at the moment. Could see something come of that for sure. 3/10 Ladke off the back of Delia again, so
Dale's got the move done on Gedman as the race leaders are coming through. The race leaders have made their way through, and in fact that is Redfern, who's closed right up on this battle then, so he's come from absolutely no place as these two are battling. Almost gets the position done on the Mercedes of Gedman. Let's jump back and watch that sequence again. So we're going to see the race leaders make their way through, and Matt Redfern in the big brain McLaren make a lot of ground here. Let's find the best view for this one. Probably right on board with Chris Gedman at the minute. So there we go. So the Lamborghini pulled right over to the side, so that brought Redfern right into it then. So he was almost up the inside. In fact, he's respectfully backed out with that one. Didn't want to force a side by side with the Lambo, knowing that he was pulling up for the blue flag. So great sportsmanship there. Second place, almost catching the back of Gedman. Gedman moves over to let him pass, and that is when blue flags can help or they can hinder. In this case, Bjorn Dale, he really clipped those sausage curves. The drivers are getting a bit keen on those sausage curves. We know the 1.9 physics update has made everything better. It doesn't mean it's made it infallible. So let's not do too much of that. Chowdhury in the pits for the petrol aficionados if they've run out of fuel. But yeah, Super Chowdhury then for the petrol aficionados. Yeah, he's got damage there. Bit of separation between the bonnet and the front bumper. I'll keep talking to give Kate plenty of time to recover from my attempted pun there as Ben Crook looks to go round the outside of Mason again. A battle that's continued from race number 1 and hasn't abated any at all. The SR Esports team in the Porsche fending off Ben Crook's PLR Esports team once again in the Mercedes. But with 12 minutes left to go, it looks like the Mercedes might get the job done into turn number 1. He's got the outside on the way in. He's got the corner all to himself. And he's just about got the rotation on that. The Porsche almost collecting the back of them, and once again through that first chicane, the Mercedes and the Porsches showing the McLarens how it is done. Malt Polly all over the back of Dave Goodway. Another overtake into turn number 1. This time Goodway defending on the outside line on the way in. An unusual strategy over the race so far, but Polly again, they really are throwing those McLarens in. A lot of extra steering input there for Polly to keep the car under control on the exit, but he does, and that's him up to 16th position. Alan Brown with that 14th place at the minute. He's got Simon just ahead, but a 30-second penalty. So given the race, given where he's going to cross the line, that really is going to be hugely detrimental, especially after that first result. We can see an FRL car just leaving the pits. Matt Redfern is still trying to get an overtake done as well, but we're going to have to keep an eye on the battle up at the front once again, because they are within millimetres of one another into the second chicane. You can see the flames from Delia's McLaren almost taking the paint off the front of Ladke's car. 800ths of a second separating them through the sector one time in Delta, and as they head towards Aqua Minerale once again, Kane, these two absolute masterclass up at the front. And since Delia's made that mistake and brought Ladke back into play, Ladke really is here to play.
Yeah, absolutely here to play. It get a little bit stuck a couple laps ago behind some of that blue flag, but has definitely made up the time the previous go around. good second and a half quicker than Dahlia in front. So that traffic playing a part for both these guys in the race. Clear in front for the meantime. 10 minutes left at the moment. We will see this battle continue to unfold as it has all night. Something that's unfortunately happened all night too is Klassen and his team there. They have picked up that 5-second penalty for that incident with the Lamborghini behind. So Klassen will be looking to gain another second and a half on Loich behind to negate that 5-second penalty. But yeah, 5 seconds up. That's not the worst that could have happened for Martin Klassen there. SRE Rocket SimSport McLaren. So might be able to keep that position there. So yeah, interesting turn of events. But yeah, like I said, those two drivers out in front still neck and neck. Hope you get the entry right again into the opening chicane. Right on target, opening chicane, yeah, giving it right on target around that hairpin. But just watching a bit of a replay here. We got moves being made back there, John.
We do indeed, yeah. Milodanovic getting the move done on Matt Redfern, getting it done into Ravazza. My mistake on the way. Oh yeah, okay. So halfway through Ravazza, it wasn't on the way in or the way out. It was right in the middle. Then Redfern just unsettling the car ever so slightly. 2 wheels on the grass. They do have 5th place just behind them as well. Oleg Pitzik flashed his lights, and by the time we get back on board, we can see what position he's in. But let's check it back on the 2 leaders again, because they're right on top of one another yet again. Lap after lap, blow for blow, corner for corner, sector for sector. These two have been I would say head and shoulders above the rest. Martin Klassen 1 minute 40.8. So only 3 cars have managed laps under 1 minute 41, although special mention to Ollie Pitzik and the Team Ballast Esports, his teammate, getting a 1 minute 41.002. So could not be much closer. Just like the battle for the lead on their side by side into turn number 1. 2 McLarens going side by side into turn number 1 at Imola during this race. Definitely not pause for concern in the slightest whatsoever. Car 74 getting themselves a 15-second penalty there. That's Redfern in the big brain car. And there is another blue flag car. Just pops the brakes on. Excellent use of the indicators as well. Of course, if you are the blue flag traffic, hold your line, let the cars go past. And if you are going to move, be predictable. Pop your indicators on, let them know where you're going to go. And yeah, everyone can sail on past. Ladkey, 7 minutes to go. Similar position to the last race. It was a mistake into the first chicane that saw these two separated. 10 seconds ahead is Pasemko, but it will be a 130-second penalty. 2 minutes and 10 seconds will be added to his finish time. So he will drop right back down the order, but it is these two who are battling for the lead of the race. 3 outstanding penalties at the moment. Craig Hill just bringing up the rear. James Williams just ahead, and Mark Conway making it a trio of FRL cars. Shubham Chowdhury back out the pits. Does look like the damage hasn't been repaired, but that's likely to be a graphical glitch. I'm not sure you would come into the pits that late in the race and not get the damage fixed. MMS carrying a bit of damage again. 23rd position, Jason Pooley. The damage done with that penalty. 22nd position and 23 seconds down on Chris Gedwin in the FRL Mercedes. Matt Redfern in 20th place for Big Brain, and Milodanovic looking to go up to 18th position, and he gets it done into turn number 1. That is it. We get a McLaren through the first chicane then, as Milodanovic makes it up to 18th at the expense of Bjorn Dell for Gorilla Racing. Next on their hit list will be Dave Goodway in the FRL Arrive and Drive Lamborghini. Malt Polly for Lockup Racing. In 16th place it's Nico Veldman and Alan Brown, another FRL driver there, 14th, and it's Michael Syme for the YSS team. in 13th place. Majan and Crook have swapped positions. It's Crook in 11th for PLR Esports. Majan now in 12th place for the SR Esports third car. Dennis Suarez out for Tyre Sim Racing, got themselves into the top 10 with Yateman in 9th for Simply Race Esports. David Cesar for RNL Roar in 8th. It's amazing how much of a tongue twister that is, and I can say Purple Burglar Alarm, but I can't say RNL Roar. Strange times. Remy Loesch, Panda Esports in 7th place, classing for the SRE Rocket Sim Sport team. 5-second penalty, 4.5 seconds to the good with 4.5 minutes left of the race. Pitchik in 5th, Rakhmetov in 4th place. Hladky in 3rd and Delia in 2nd, and it occurs to me that all those positions are -1 because Pasenko is going to be dropped tumbling down the order. 4 minutes once again into the first chicane, Kane. These two, no quarter given nor asked. You'd be hard pressed to put a bet on which one of these two teams is going to win this race. This is an incredible battle, and it could all be decided by the first chicane with the way things have gone tonight.
Yeah, first or middle chicane, John, just got them last go around, and Ladke did have that McLaren right up alongside Delia heading into that middle chicane, so might see a move done there possibly. It almost come together badly for both of them. Seen them plummet down through the order. Rakhmetov not out of the picture by a long shot. Fixcheck with a big race in this second 60 minutes. But yeah, these two have not been separated, drivers nor cars, much of this race at all. That gap does close up rapidly in the chicane there, so Delia with a better exit, but Ladke definitely showing him he's got some pace there, and I don't think he's going to be shy in these last 3 minutes to stand it up there and get the job done and look to that first place.
Can we stay at watching this battle till the end, please? They are within 3/10 for like 15 minutes, and we have seen them for like 30 seconds. Yeah, apologies. Yeah, we've seen them. I think we've seen them slightly more than 30 seconds, but yeah, we will definitely keep an eye on this battle over the top. Of course, it is the battle for the lead. We do have another couple of close battles with Suarez and Yateman, Brown and Syme, but with 2 minutes left to go. Oh, this is where it's going to be. 7 seconds up the road. Pasenko is going to cross the line first. Oh, is this the one that Ladke needs? Is he going to get the cutback on the way out? McLaren ahead of him keeps it exactly where he needs it. They are getting closer. This one's going to be interesting. Down into Aqua Minerale as he chases him into the braking zone. Can he get alongside? Oh, and he's left more than enough room there as Delia almost inviting the overtake. Delia runs wide, goes off track. They're going to be side by side through Aqua Minerale potentially. He's got the run back up the inside. They are nose to tail. Literally both kept it between the mayo and the mustard there, and it is Delia that continues to hold the lead of the race into the final chicane. It could not be any closer here. Less than 2 laps to go, and less than 0.2 of a second separating them. 600s, 500 separated them in qualifying, 600s separating them in the race at the minute. McLaren v McLaren, top 6 cars. McLaren classing still 5 seconds with that 5 second penalty obviously, but 4.7 seconds ahead. There's confirmation that Pasenko has crossed the line again. He is going to get a 2 minute 10 second penalty for not adhering to the mandatory requirements. So these two are battling for the lead of the race. Delia with a 140.405, Ladke with a 140.652. For the last 3 laps, Ladke has been an average of a 10th and a half quicker than Delia. Just can't quite get that overtake done as they make their way through the final lap. 35 laps, 70 in total this evening. And there's less than 70 millimetres separating them. Oh, and they're very nose to tail. That was about the width of the paint on the front splitters. that was separating the two cars as they head once again down into Aqua Minerale. Has Ladke got any answer on the final lap? Can Delia fend this one off? Back-to-back wins in the same round. A phenomenal feat given the field, and the top 10 are reversed for race number 2. A lot of tarmac has been covered, not a lot of pixels separate these two into the final chicane down into Ravazza. It's going to be nose to tail, and we're going to see side by side these really hit those curves. Is that the final nail in Ladke's coffin? That is the biggest gap we've seen in the last 2 laps. It's Redfern just dropping down a position there as well. So Suarez and Nateman still looking very close. Pisemko is going to cross the line, but again, he is not the race leader. These two are, but that final chicane, that extra clip on those sausage curves, it does look like it's given enough room for Carlo Delia to cross the line and take the checkered flag. 2 first places this evening. Phenomenal job by the ITJ setups team, and not too shabby by Matthias Ladke and Jeffrey Ritchie, bringing home back-to-back second places for the Thomas Eng sim racing team. Timo Rakhmatov for the VDS junior team, definitely going to be one to watch going forward in 3rd position, and Ollie Pitzik in 4th for Team Ballas. Martin Klassen crosses the line in 5th place with a 5.9 second gap over Remy Lowe. So Panda Esports will stay in 6th. David Cesar for RNL Roar in 7th position. Nateman and Suarez goes to tail across the line. The two Lambos absolute side by side photo finish, less than 2 tenths separating them. Veldman down the field as well. Very close to Malt Polly as Mason and Crook both cross the line. PLR Esports bringing home 11th position. Polly for lock-up racing looks like he's going to fend off Feldman. He does indeed in the closing stages. Miladanovic with that 130-second penalty for not adhering to pit stop regulations. Dale in 19th, Redfern in 20th position, but will lose the place to Gedman. Pooley in 22nd. But yeah, Carlo Delia and Matthias Ladke ends exactly the way it did in race number 1 there, Kane. Incredible drive from both of those teams.
Yeah, outstanding effort all round, and Dahlia picking up that second win of the night. You'll see them catapult through the standings after round 2 here at Imola, and what a super round we did have. A couple of penalties there. Sees Pasemko drop down to 17th after that driver swap issue, obviously tonight. No backup driver ready to take over, so Pasemko getting all the track time to themselves out there in that Ferrari tonight, but definitely sees that penalty pop up as well. So yeah, action all around out there tonight, John, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the standings after this one tonight. The ITJ setups Italian job team were sitting in 6th position, but with a couple of wins tonight, it's going to see them jump right up after their 14th place finish in the second race last week. So yeah, definitely a better outing for the Italian job team tonight.
Indeed, yeah. Back-to-back wins. Yeah, as you say, the first place and then the 14th, bringing it home, shaking off the shackles of the reverse order grid. And of course, Thomas Eng keeping their charge for top spot honours well and truly alive with a couple of podiums themselves. So Rocket Simsport with a bit of damage limitation there, finishing just outside the top 5. Big Brain Racing as well. We'll need a big recovery drive next time out at Bathurst. Can't wait. Home track for Kane. Looking forward to that one, Kane.
Absolutely. Always good to see Bathurst on any calendar. Definitely a test of time, mental strength as well there. An hour to get around in between the tight walls, up the mountain, down the mountain. Going to be plenty of high-speed action to follow there. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to round 3 coming up shortly, John.
Indeed, only 7 short days. In fact, 7 days, 22 hours. 6 days, 22 hours, so it's fine. We will be there soon enough. Absolutely cannot wait. It's going to be a cracker. Of course, Silverstone will be directly after that. Then Valencia in the final round at the Nürburgring. 2 races per round. 14 races in total. 4 of them now firmly in the rear view mirror. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast this evening. Please do give Formula Racing League give the channel a follow. They've got multiple platforms and multiple Twitch channels to cover all your sim racing needs, be it PS5 or PC. So make sure you give them a follow. And of course, they've got a YouTube channel with beautifully organised playlists. Thank you, James. Don't know why I'm saying thank you, but yeah, beautifully organised playlists with all the videos on there. So make sure you catch up with everything that's going on. And of course, if you want to see directly all the races, there is the link for their host page on the SimGrid website where they host everything. So make sure you give them a follow on there, keep up to date with everything that's going on. That was round 2, that was race 3 and 4, the FRL Super Sprint to the Grand Finals. The finals in November and December, hotly contested as we have seen. I'll leave you with the highlights. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed. We'll leave you with the highlights, and we will catch you, Kane and I will catch you at the same time next week. So with a good night and a thank you from Kane.
Good night.
Thank you very much, Kane. And it is a good night from me. Stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.